The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. This program starts now. Football! It is amazing, and obviously it's a massive day in football because the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings debut this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Who's in, who's out? Can't wait to learn about that. Week 11 of the NFL season wrapped up last night with the Dallas Cowboys just shitting all over themselves on prime time yet again. Congrats to Houston Texans. We, as Colts fans, need the Texans to continue to lose, but I don't know if anybody's going to do that against the Dallas Cowboys. And as somebody who said, I'll take the Dallas Cowboys +7, I don't think I've ever said dumber words in my life. And as I was watching that game from the beginning to the end, I actually thought that numerous times. How did I, on a microphone, say, give me the Dallas Cowboys +7? Now, it appears as if the love of America is starting to become a very real thing in the world that we live in currently in 2024.
Sure.
Feels like America is a little bit more accepted by its citizens now than it ever has been in recent history. With that being said, America's team crumbling at the seams. We're talking about the ceiling falling apart. Last night they wanted to open the roof for the first time in a long time. Our team stinks, but at least we'll showcase the stadium. And then a piece of sheet metal comes flying down, and you see old buddy, whoa. What was that? Well, it was actually metal from the roof, pal. Yeah, Jerry World obviously at one time was the cock of the walk. And speaking of cock of the walk, this is a man who had to go up there and actually drill another piece of sheet metal into some more railings up there because they couldn't get it out completely. And they didn't know if one gust of wind somehow comes through Jerry World, another piece of sheet metal comes all the way down. So the roof sucks, the team sucks. And the floor sucks.
Yep.
Brendan Aubrey has his first miss at home last night. He's obviously slips all over the place. Oh, no. You think to yourself, well, how'd you slip? This guy's been 34 for 34 in Jerry World as the Dallas Cowboys kicker. Well, you got to remember, Paul Tyson had that thing up. They just put it down.
That's right.
So the turf stinks, the roof stinks, the team stinks, everything about it stinks, and the Houston Texans took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Houston Texans on a big win. C.J. Stroud obviously enjoys the hell out of Nico Collins being back. That first touchdown where Laramie Tunsil was 2 yards down the field, I think that was a little...
Yeah, come on.
Now, obviously, Laramie Tunsil was acting in a fashion as if he knew what they called, and I think Joe Buck and Troy Aikman did a great job of saying this is definitely a penalty, but, okay. And then Joe Mixon goes absolutely bananas. I mean, multiple touchdowns, 3 of them. He goes for an insane amount of yards, and I think he wanted to really... on prime time, let people know that Joe Mixon is still Joe Mixon. This dude is missed in Cincinnati. Although the Cincinnati Bengals offense does a fantastic job, and Joe Burrow's spinning it all over the place. The loss of Joe Mixon is certainly something that's going to be felt, and the addition of Joe Mixon to this Houston Texans team has been massive. Now everybody talked about Stephon Diggs going over there, and he's obviously injured for the rest of the year. Godspeed to you, Stephon Diggs. But the Joe Mixon signing, I think, is one of the biggest ones across the entire NFL. He redoes the math for these defenses. And with that offensive line, with how they've been struggling protecting, C.J. Stroud, they've been struggling over the last few weeks. Having a dominating performance like that, running the ball against this Dallas Cowboys defense that has sucked since the beginning of the year.
Yep.
And, gap signness and toughness and physicality and everything that you need to be a great defense against the run and in the NFL. The Houston Texans exploited. And if I'm a Texans fan, I'm waking up this morning feeling great about my team. If I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm thinking about becoming a Houston Texans fan.
Should.
That is the thought that I should be having. Now, there's a lot of people chatting like, why would you go to a game if you were a Dallas Cowboy fan, we got some stats from Hembo. Do you know how many seconds and minutes, not this one, the other one, please. Do you know how many seconds they've been leading games at home? None.
Jeez.
None. Last 6 home games, we've had no happiness. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. We're back.
Against a good Lions team,
We
too.
are back. We are a team. And then no happiness. Okay, so you're talking about home games being miserable from start to finish. And last night, obviously, was the first time a stadium just fell apart. So before the game even started, they were losing. Yeah. So you're talking about no seconds of leading games before the game even started this entire thing. And then let's go to the offseason, as Foxy put up there a little bit, pinching pennies and losing games. Good headline there. Ooh, wow. That's good headline from Debo. There have been some absolutely terrible ones throughout the last couple of days from D-Bone, but he's not bad at piecing these things together, because that's exactly what Hembo sent over. Pinch of pennies, losing games. Now, if you do recall, this past offseason, everybody thought about Derrick Henry going to the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry said, well, I don't think we can afford him, or whatever the case is. Then he obviously pays $60 million to Dak, pays whatever to CD, does the entire thing. But once you start looking at like the stats of how these guys have done against the Dallas Cowboys and where they're paid at. Now, Saquon Barkley, he went bananas. His contract ranks 190th in the NFL.
Okay.
In average annual value per year. Saquon Barkley does.
Jeez.
Like, think about the Giants. They said we can't afford him.
Yep. No chance.
Dallas obviously looked into it because they got no running game at all. They said we can't afford him. And then you think about Joe Mixon, what he did, 276th in the NFL, his contract, average annual value.
Yep.
And then Derrick Henry, obviously 287th in NFRB is the news. I don't know what the hell that means. But nonetheless, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, all running backs that could be for the Cowboys, theoretically, they go for 405 yards from scrimmage on 63 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns versus Dallas. So Jerry Jones has to sit up there, okay, as the stadium's falling apart. And his team leads no seconds at all of any of these games. And then he has to go on these Tuesday morning shows, radio shows, and they go, hey, there's a lot of things being pointed out about your lack of doing anything to make this team better, and kind of just living by the people that you've had here, you've developed here, you've coached here, everything like that. He goes, I'm not here to fucking listen and talk to you about everything I've done wrong. Well, it's like, Jerry, your team sucks, your building sucks, and a lot of people are starting to think you suck. Even the people that had faith in you, like me. I was a big Jerry Jones fan.
Sure.
Strictly because of the way he went about doing his business. I appreciate the fact that this man goes all in. I appreciate the fact that he got money from oil, all right?
Sure.
Then he takes that money, goes all in on the Cowboys, and then he creates the greatest sports brand in the world, the most highest valued, the greatest brand. He's on prime time every single week. I mean, you're talking about just a business savant in Jerry Jones. Now, him being the GM, him being probably the coach, him being everything else, I enjoyed, because it's like you want an owner that loves ball, you want an owner that's involved, and they had success, 30 years ago. But now it's at the point where everything Jerry does sucks.
Yep. Yeah.
His business plans suck. The AI Jerry they got down in the lobby sucks. His stadium sucks. His team sucks. His ideas on what they should do for the team suck. The way he talks in interviews sucks. It's like everything about Jerry Jones sucks at this point. And I'm bummed out about it.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a run. It was a great American dream story.
Yeah, truly.
It was a great American dream story. But now it's just like Jerry Jones sucks. And we just have to face that head on. And I know there's a lot of people that have been saying that for a long time. And I know you've been excited to watch the demise of Jerry Jones. As somebody that, was, this guy's hilarious, is how I kind of viewed it. This guy sucks. And on the flip side, the Houston Texans, they used to be the shit.
Very recently.
They used to suck bad. Now they're really good. And that sucks for the Indianapolis Colts, who are in the same exact division. Now, am I scared that the Houston Texans are going to go on and be undefeated for the rest of the year and the Colts have no chance of making it, pretty much, if that's the case? Because of what they did to the Dallas Cowboys? No.
Sure.
With that being said, they looked very good last night.
Yep.
And it was not just, a bad Dallas Cowboys team. It was the execution. It was how they went about it, how CJ looked, how the offensive line looked, how the defense looked. I mean, it was just like everything that the Houston Texans did. You watch. This is like football judgment, which is going to come into play tonight for the college football playoff. It's like football judgment. They looked good. Yep. The Houston Texans looked the best they've looked in a long time. And is that because they're playing the Cowboys, which is, strength of schedule 0 if you were to be giving points out? Or is it because because the Houston Texans are back? We shall see. Talk Stables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con Man. Not a terrible Week 11 slate, but last night certainly sucked.
Yeah, last night did suck, just like Jerry Jones, to your point, and you can probably throw his boy in there because if his boy didn't suck, then he'd probably be where Jerry Jones is right now instead of Jerry still running the show. But the Texans are impressive. Like Nico Collins being back on the field, that completely changes their entire offense. John Mechie, who, he missed his entire rookie year, he's playing pretty good ball because Nico wasn't in for as many snaps, I feel like, as we would usually see. He's probably still kind of getting back from that hamstring. But with him, with what that offensive line did after the questions, we've kind of had, and AQ Shipley has pointed out to us when it comes to the Texans, what they were able to do against the Cowboys. Now, again, it is the Cowboys. Where we ranking
suck.
This? They're a really bad football team, yeah. And, even that graphic, Joe Mixon wasn't a free agent technically like Saquon and Derrick Henry, but still could have traded, a fifth or a sixth round pick for him because they released him, and then the Texans called the Bengals and they're like, hey, don't release him, we'll give you a bag of balls for
They
Joe.
Released him, gave a bird call to everybody. Hey, Joe Mixon is potentially available. Obviously Jerry said,
still,
I got other shit to do.
No thanks.
I got to ruin this franchise a little bit more. I got to beat this thing down to the ground. I got to force the public to have to watch my team. Okay, which is, I think, the biggest issue with the whole thing. I used to enjoy the fact that Jerry Jones used to hold the public hostage. Hey, you're going to watch my team.
Okay, Jerry.
I'm part of the TV negotiation rights. So I don't tell these people that they should have America's team on there. They know they should have America's team on there. And obviously there's been sports media programs that have made a living off of talking about just the Dallas Cowboys because if you talk about Dallas Cowboys, everything goes up. Well, it's like, is that because the Dallas Cowboys are on national TV every single week? If you were to put, I don't know, Los Angeles Chargers with Herbert and Harbaugh on national television every single week, do you think that numbers will go up whenever you talk about the Los Angeles Chargers going forward? Yeah, it's all kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, seemingly, with the entirety of it all. And it's like now we're at the point where we're getting punished by these motherfuckers. And don't look down. They're on next Monday as well.
Nice.
Yeah, next Monday. And then we mentioned the Simpsons game yesterday, which, hey, listen, we can't flex out of this because we did a bunch of animation for Bart Simpson, watching the Cowboys. But that is the worst part because there is, Jerry Jones is going to be running the Cowboys until he dies. It's as simple as that. A guy like that isn't going to wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, maybe the game has passed me by. I need to step down. That's not happening. He's going to do this until he dies. And because they are the Cowboys, there is never going to be a world they're probably going to suck next year. They basically have paid 3 guys, and everyone else is kind of just, all right, we'll just fill in the cracks, and maybe we can get a couple vets. They're going to get 5 or 6 primetime games next year. They'll be pretty much the same team. Only Dak will be, who knows how healthy he'll be. It's because he's such a good businessman. They're in this position, but now it's also the game clearly has passed him by, but he's been so successful, he's not going to hand it off to anyone. So we're just in an endless rut, and it's going to be like that pretty much until he dies, I think.
Can't wait to watch it every single week.
Yeah.
What an honor it is for us to watch a star on a helmet do their thing. And I have a lot of respect for a lot of people that have played for the Cowboys throughout the years. That is not a shot at them. It is not their fault that they're Dallas Cowboys. But when it comes out about the practice facility tours while training for another team and then selling offices next to a practice field that anybody could get, it's this guy sucks as an owner.
Yeah.
This guy, for shoot, sucks as great businessman.
Unbelievable.
Great businessman.
Pride number 1.
Sucks as an NFL owner, and I think that was fully on display last night. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler looks super cool, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Looked super dumb yesterday, though. Alongside you, I think I maybe influenced you a little bit with that picking the Cowboys. I thought
it was a heart.
4 seconds into the game with the Nico touchdown, obviously got called back, and they end up getting a 45-yard touchdown anyway. But yeah, it's embarrassing. A lot of people kind of talked about the lack of moves coming into the season. I know Orlowski was like, "Hey, somebody responded to a tweet. Nobody saw this 3-7 team coming." Dan Orlowski definitely called it. But yeah, you even having Cooper Cushion there. Obviously, this is the guy who's been there. He's been familiar, but you traded for Trey Lance. This is a guy that you love coming out.
I forgot about Trey Lance.
How do you not even have him on the field in the case of your $60 million quarterback going down? And you look at the team, you talked about paying some guys. They have the premium, quote-unquote, premium positions paid, the quarterback, the receiver, the corner, the pass rusher. You got all those, but nope. You didn't do anything in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Linebacker depth, obviously replacing the running back. So all the things that you knew coming into the season, they just stunk. And, yeah, the businessman side of Jerry has been great, and that's why he has had us as prisoners having to watch him, because there are so many Cowboys fans out there and so many Cowboys haters out there. So when you talk about them, obviously the ratings are going to be what it is. But yeah, that watching them on primetime, and once again, we'll have to do it over and over and over again. But that just highlights it, and it's just terrible, all around terrible.
Cooper Kush wasn't that terrible.
He was slinging it.
Cooper Kush gets out there and does it, but for one reason or another, they continue to suck down there, and the building falling apart on primetime is like a perfect way to just kind of, like, hey, this is your world now. This is Jerry world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is your world. It's on primetime, on Monday Night Football, and your building's falling apart. It's all right, Cowboys fans. It's all right.
Yeah, it's okay. That guy who was standing next to the sheet metal, by the way, brother, go down and cut your leg off. What are we doing, man? What are you doing dodging that thing, dude? Stand under it.
Hit an artery.
I guess the news was there was another piece of sheet metal that was like kind of wedged up in the walkways up there, and they couldn't get it down from where it was. So the NFL deemed it too dangerous to continue to play if that was going to remain the case. So they said, hey, you know, to hell with it. Let's just go. Sheet metal's got a new home now forever. We'll just go ahead and drill this thing into the catwalk up there. Joining us now, because there's breaking news out of the NFL. The New York Jets have fired their general manager, Joe Douglas.
Wow.
Whoa.
This morning. Joining us now, Ray, to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Yeah,
Schefter, this is, I don't know if it's, Aaron will not be on today because they're in the middle of a bye week. So this is Coach Saleh a couple weeks ago, and then Aaron was able to come on. Now Aaron is on traveling, I do believe. I have no idea where, enjoying his bye week. Is that why they made this decision, because they're on the bye week? How long has this been kind of in the works, and what does this mean for the future, Schefty?
Well, it means that it's a complete overhaul in New York with the Jets, and it means that Woody Johnson obviously was losing patience, and when you watch the team, you can't help but be discouraged right now. And they obviously were going to be in a head coaching search. Now it's going to be a head coach and GM search. Joe Douglas's contract was up after this season. I don't know that he wanted to stay there anyway, but the Jets made it simple on him today, and obviously Woody Johnson fired him this morning, just as he fired Robert Saleh on a Tuesday morning last month. And so the Jets are starting from the ground up again. And when we talk about Aaron's future, that's why it's crazy to even talk. Like, we didn't know who the GM is going to be. We don't know who the head coach is going to be. We don't know who's going to be leading this team, who's making decisions. You can't say that a quarterback will or won't be back when you don't even know who's making the calls on these things.
Yeah.
And so it's, Joe Douglas had some great draft picks in New York, had some misses. Zach Wilson, number 2, they could have kept Sam Darnold that year, and they could have traded that pick and go back and look at the people who were available with the second overall pick in that draft. And we could do this for any GM and any draft and any team. Look at the players who they missed. But you've got a situation where it's a tough job in a tough market with a tough organization, with a tough owner who's obviously a little bit unhappy with the way things are going right now.
Do you have more breaking news right now? Is that what you're doing, or is this all fallout from that?
No, just a couple of things that I didn't get out there that I just want to make sure that that we get out there. So we're taking care of that.
Smart. We appreciate you doing that while talking to us here about it all. And you talked about the owner who's frustrated, who's obviously making these changes. And I like the fact that Joe Douglas's deal was up at the end of the year, and Ambassador Johnson was like, don't even come in the building. Yeah. I don't want to see your face.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I'm done with seeing your face. 7 weeks, get the hell out. I don't want to see you ever again. You've done enough. Ambassador Johnson, are we expecting him to be Ambassador Johnson for the next 4 years, or how does this kind of go over there with the Jets?
I don't know the political side of things. I just know that he was the ambassador for President Trump before, and there was a feeling within the organization that if and when Trump got elected again, that Woody Johnson could have a role. Now, again, that is a hugely important factor for this organization moving forward, whether Woody is or isn't here. Now, he will have a huge voice and a huge say no matter where he is, no matter what job he's doing. But obviously, it was a different tone and different atmosphere when Christopher Johnson, his brother, was around the team. And so if Woody Johnson is doing another job like that, let's say he's doing that same job again, and Christopher Johnson has another role, Again, we come back to the fact that Christopher Johnson, I think, wound up hiring Robert Saleh. Woody signed off on it. But when Robert was being introduced, if it wasn't their very first exchange, it was amongst their first exchanges. Woody Johnson told Robert Saleh, remember, I wasn't the one who hired you. My brother did. And so,
jeez, wow.
I'm just, these are things that go on.
I didn't. This is this, guys. So good luck, dude. Don't fucking talk to me. I don't. Please. Christopher is the guy that hired you. And we appreciate the fact that the tweet that you had to put out on X was, just so we know, 5+ years, 30 and 6.
Jeez.
Shefty.
Pat,
you cracked me up,
the
dude.
job is not done till the job is done.
I agree.
Still more information. I don't care whether it's relevant news or not, okay? We got to put it out.
Hey, it takes what it takes, brother. That's why you're a senior insider at ESPN. Okay, so Joe Douglas, don't even show up to work, please. Last 7 weeks, there's an injury clause. We don't need you eating our food, accidentally falling down. Robert Saleh let go. We were just talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy's deal is done at the end of the year, and we asked you this morning to stop by the program because we were having a discussion. It's like each year, the amount of coaching changes is pretty wild. And we kind of, we were trying to guess in the office, how many coaching changes will there be at the end of the season? Now, obviously, Jets already happened. Saints already happened. Are the Jaguars going to happen? We have no idea. But the most ever has been 10 coaching changes in an offseason. It's happened 4 different times. Okay, so obviously those are the years. 2023, there was 8. We assume Jacksonville's happening. We don't know if we're supposed to do that or not, but that sounds like it was. There's already 3. How many are you expecting at the end of this particular season? And this isn't just firing. This is coaches' changes because McCarthy's on the last year of his contract here in Dallas.
Yeah, in 2021, there are people who retired.
I have a record of this, but I think there was a year where there was more than 10.
Really?
I could look at my computer, but I believe there was a year where there were more than 10. Now, we'll go back and look at that after this, but that's neither here nor there. I think when we go into this season, look, 5-22 told you that last year was going to be a heavy year. And it was heavy, but it was not as heavy as it could have been because there were certain franchises that decided to stick by their coach and not make a change. Like we wondered last year if Chicago would do anything, and Chicago didn't. And we wondered if the Jets would do anything, and they didn't. We wondered if New Orleans would do it, and they didn't. So there are obvious holdovers right now that didn't get changed out at the end of last season. When I look ahead into this season, there will be no less than 7. And I would say the realistic range is 7 to 9. And it's probably closer to the over than the under. And if it came in over 9, that wouldn't be the most shocking thing either. But I think 7 to 9 is realistic, probably 8 or 9.
Okay, it's crazy to think about all the change, and then that's a third of the league. That's a third of the league.
Let me tell you something. This has become, for better or worse, in many cases worse, this has become part of the sport. It's like there's a playoff season and there's a hunting season. And the playoff season starts and the hunting season for coaches starts. And it's part of the sport and part of the theater. Like, let's not lose sight of this. It's a great sport to watch. We all love it, but it's also entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And part of the entertainment is these coaches in charge, and these owners are making so much money that if they want to blow out a coach and pay him,
well,
it doesn't mean that much. And sometimes the best way to send a message to the fan base is, hey, we're changing coaches. It's a jump start. It's almost like it gets things going in the right direction, not the same old, fresh conversation. And so that's become part of the sport too. We have the playoff chase and we have the chase for jobs, like all together, all in November, December, and January.
I wrote a note in my notes section in like 2015 or something. Mm-hmm. And it was about with social media becoming as loud as it is. You know, back in the day, ownership only had like a newspaper they had to deal with telling them stuff, or people they accidentally ran into in public telling them stuff. Other than that, didn't have to hear anything. Didn't have to hear anything at all. Now with social media, and I don't know if you're learning of a new coach getting fired or a GM getting fired or a name that could potentially be replacing Joe Douglas in New York. Whatever you're going through, you do what you have to do. But nowadays, ownership hears what people think of their team, of their franchise. They hear directly from their fans. Now, I'm not saying every owner is on their Twitter account or on their X account, but a lot of them are. A lot of them have access to social media. A lot of them are able to hear directly from their fans when that was never the case. And they don't want to give off the perception of contentment ever to these people. I did everything I could. They want to be babyface with their fan base. And a quick way to do that is to say, I didn't like the way this was running. I'm going to change it. And also, there's no salary cap on these coaches. So you can fire somebody after a year even, or 2 years, and pay them 5 years worth of money, and you're not going to take any hits against how good your team can be. What was the number 2 years ago? $800 million?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember? I think you might have broke the news. Roger Goodell sent out a memo to the owners and was like, hey, you guys are currently paying $800 million in guaranteed cash to fired coaches right now. Just almost like, hey, just a heads up, this is what's taking place. So I think that's a big part of it. I think social media and the ability to hear from the fans more so than ever before from ownership is a massive piece of the new generation of like, no, we ain't standing for this. And there's not as much patience as there used to be, Schefter, I think personally.
And the TV deals and the gambling money and the international money make it such that it is more palatable than ever to swallow some of that money, despite the fact that the commissioner warned against it. So if you have to blow out your coaching staff and eat those millions of dollars in salary, you know what? Nobody likes to do it, but they could afford to do it.
Yeah. So maybe Ambassador Johnson comes back and makes a big-time play. Maybe Jerry Jones figures out who the next one is to run that team, maybe, and coach that team. There's obviously going to be a lot of open spots. You just talked about it, both a GM and a head coach. Let's take the coaching one. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, speaking of, what hot names are out there that we may not know of? Obviously, we all hear Ben Johnson all the time. We hear Aaron Glenn all the time. What are some other hot names that maybe become the new head coaches of these 7 to 10 spots that open up?
Well, first of all, before I get to that, D-Butt, let me just say this. I said this to you before. One thing that I love doing on this show is, and it speaks to how many people watch it, is that when you are doing it, you are fact-checked in real time. So I got a text from somebody, I could say actually, Evan Kaplan, ace researcher at ESPN. He said, I'm on a plane, so I may be late, but there were 11 head coaching changes following the 2008 season going into 2009. 11. I knew that there was a season.
Okay, so congrats to Cap. Thanks for paying attention and sending that. Yeah. We got our information from Forbes. I guess that was the stat that we got. We got 10 from Forbes. So I guess they didn't account for a retirement, even though it was coaching swap.
Damn it, Forbes.
Well, that's also on us, probably. I would certainly assume that. 11 in 2008 is a lot. But back to D-Butch's question. Who are some? Slowick, obviously, down in Houston. We just saw him.
Yeah. Well, no, here. So, okay. So we're going to talk candidates here. And inevitably, somebody is going to get overlooked, which I never like to do because we're doing this off the top of our head right now.
Okay.
But I think when we're talking about coaches right now, there are some guys that I think stand out, and I think at the very least are going to be garnering multiple head coaching interviews. Okay? Bill Belichick.
What?
Mike Vrabel.
What?
Ben Johnson.
What?
Aaron Glenn.
What?
Brian Flores.
What?
And I think Vance Joseph is going to get a bunch of interviews with the job that he's done on Denver's defense. So, there's 6 coaches that just stand out to me. When we're talking GMs, I think there are a lot of people out there. I could think of.
Go ahead.
Well, one guy, you think of winning teams, right? Who wins? Kansas City wins. Mm-hmm. And last year, the Carolina Panthers hired Brant Tillis away to be an executive vice president. And the Chiefs have had a guy there for a while, Mike Borgonzi, who does a great job with personnel.
Borgonzi. To me, this guy knows the ball.
You see that? I knew you'd like that one, Pat.
Yeah, Borgonzi. Yeah, Borgonzi's a good guy.
I think he's a guy that will get interviews. I'm not thinking GMs.
To be clear, Schefty, the GMs, anytime they get hired, none of us know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
It's like we don't really know who these humans are.
Their names to you.
Normally, when they just pop up, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where'd he come from?
And then, exactly. This guy knows. Yeah, he's sat in this guy's been in the war room before. Okay, he knows what it takes to make trades. This guy knows what it's like day to day to win. That's always like the takeaway, but nobody knows what anybody's going to be like when they're in a position of power. What is their leadership group going to look like, their scouting group look like, and what are they going to get into? It's like, I feel like the GM one's impossible to hire as well.
Yeah.
Head coaching job, I think impossible to hire. I think GM impossible to hire, which is why there's so many of these moves to be made.
And a lot of GMs don't really get that second chance. A lot of head coaches, I feel like, get a second chance, maybe even a third chance, depending on who you are. But GM just kind of, a lot of times, it's one shot. I know Telesco, he obviously got rehired pretty quickly, but for the most part, that's your one shot. You better take advantage of it.
I love that. Would be, if I was to get into anything, that would be the angle that you would want to get. Ownership would be the right one.
Sure.
Ownership would be the right angle to get.
Definitely.
Into. Tom Brady's doing it right.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is doing it right. Another Michigan man. But the general manager one, I don't want to say it's not as like, I don't think they're there 4 a.m. to midnight, but boy, every decision you make is going to be judged. Like coaching, I think you make 1,000 decisions a day with what you're doing, and you can get away with some misses. GM, like everything is going to get. This guy chose to do this. This guy chose to do this. This woman chose to do this. This guy chose, like whatever the case is. That's a tough spot. That's a very tough spot. All right, last question here, Schefter, because we know you're very busy. It's a big day. A general manager has been fired in the NFL, even though he's on the last year of his contract. I don't want to see your face anymore. That's a hilarious reason to fire.
Get out.
Ty has a question for you.
Shefty, what about some college guys making the jump? It seems like every year, Lincoln Riley, and then there was a report recently that came out that said Dan Lanning was going to be, kind of a hot name. I think a lot of times that's just leverage for those guys to get raises at their universities. But we saw Jeff Hafley leave Boston College last year to go be the coordinator, defensive coordinator for the Packers. Do you envision a lot more college guys making the jump this year, whether it's head coach or, an offensive or defensive coordinator?
Well, I would say this, that last year you saw an exodus of college guys wanting to get out to go to the NFL, headlined by Jim Harbaugh. And there are different reasons, but I think more and more with the way that college is being run now, and I don't cover it. Pete Thamel could speak to this much better than I can, but it's a business now with the collectives, with the NIL money. You're bidding for player, like the sport and coaching the sport has changed. It's a different deal now, right? And I think some guys, it's not for everybody anymore. It's not for everybody anymore. I think they want to move on and move out. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there are more college guys that want to get to the NFL. I think Dan Lanning is a guy, like, I met him one time, and I watched that guy on TV, and he is incredibly impressive. And I'm sure there are going to be teams that want to talk to him. I don't know that he even want to leave Oregon. Like, they've got so much money, and he's running his program so well. Like, everybody has to weigh that decision when it's the right time to leave. But I do think that you're seeing more and more guys at the college level open to going to the NFL because, in a way, it's a simpler existence in the day and age that we're living in.
Yeah, there's a schedule. There's like a calendar on how things work. Free agency's at this time, okay, as opposed to having to worry about free agency throughout the entire year, every day of your life. You have to worry about a potential negotiation that might just walk into your office and be like, hey, here's the deal. We're 7 games into this. I'm your starting quarterback. I'm going to need $750 $1 million, or I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm out of here. Like, that is certainly something that's a little bit different than in the NFL. But as you were chatting about it there, and Dan Lanning says the grass is damn green in Oregon because everybody thinks that he thinks the grass is going to be green in other places. But NFL, who knows if that's a different opportunity for him? I think he's a college ball guy.
Yeah.
I think he is.
For sure.
I'm excited to see what he does. And he does have a big NIL behind him. But whenever this ruling gets made, and there's basically a salary cap coming to college ball. Okay, now it's going to be $21 million or something like that, and then that's going to be broke down to how much money is going to go to the football team versus basketball team and everybody else. But you're going to get a chance now to actually, if you want to be a GM in the NFL, there's going to be an opportunity to actually be GM of like college football teams.
Yeah, no, that's happening.
And your guy, right, just left to go to St. Bonnie Woj.
Yeah.
He's going to be the GM of that basketball team. It's like, I think there's a chance that the NFL GMs are going to get better over the next 20 years because there's going to be a pool of college, which I guess should be, that you can get like an example, because everybody's going to have the same exact amount of money to use. If your school chooses to use the most for football, you're going to have to make decisions in what positions you want to go to. You're going to have to build your roster how you would build your roster. Are we spending money on offensive line more than other places? It's like, I think the evolution of this NIL thing, which sucks for some people, and there's a lot of college football coaches that say, this ain't what I'm about. I'm about development, and I don't want to deal with all the bullshit. We understand that. But I think the next generation of people that want to become NFL GMs or potentially want to be coaches, it's like there is now going to be a model where you're going to be able to practice, you're going to be able to display how good you are, and I think it's going to be great for football as a whole long term, let alone all the games we're getting this year with conference realignment and the teams that are once Indiana was dead, but with the NIL and with transfer portal, they're good again. It's like there's a lot of good coming. There's some bad, but I think that's something I haven't even thought of until like right now. Like there's going to be GMs of college teams that are going to get gigs in the NFL for GMs. That's going to be wild to talk about 10, 15 years.
We are in a totally different day and age. There's never been anything like this, where the money is going around at college, and so people who are overseeing that, like Michigan, my school, they hired a guy by the name of Sean McGee, who used to be with the Bears, who came back to Michigan, who is now helping to oversee all this money and how it goes out. And I think of Jake Rosenberg, who was in Philadelphia and helping to run the Eagles cap situation, leaving there to go assist universities and help colleges dole out money and figure out how they're going to spend money. That world is just beginning to unfold the way that is. Woj leaving this reporting job to go be the GM of the Bonnies, go Bonnies, and Woj. I mean, it's a different world that we're living in. It's being redefined on a regular basis, and again,
that's awesome.
We'll see where it all goes.
Just as a thought, there was only like 32 really.
Yeah,
there was only 32 jobs that you could really showcase if you had it or not. Everybody else is playing fantasy football.
Sure.
Like that is what it is. Now it's like
crazy.
With this ruling that's coming too, I think the money is going to be, even if you're a smaller school that doesn't have as much money as somebody else, I think the salary cap is going to be around the same as everybody else. NIL is still going to have a purpose. There's going to be promotional money on the other side. The big schools are still going to have quite an advantage over everybody else, but there's like an opportunity to be, all right, how much money do I want to spend on a tackle? How much money do I want to spend on a wide receiver? And then your formula has proof on whether or not it will work or not.
Be tough. How those contracts going to be like binding though? Because that's been a big issue too. With like,
I think it's a 2-year thing. I think I think there's like a 1 year.
Have to be.
I think it's like a 2-year thing.
Okay.
I think because that was one of the.
There's some news about it.
Biggest issue.
I think it's supposed to, Q1, I believe, is the ruling coming out. There was people talking a couple weeks ago as if the ruling had already come out. I'm like, boy, did I miss something? I think that would have been big news. And I think there's a chance we have Charlie Baker, president of the NCAA, on this show within the next few weeks.
Nice.
I think there has been an exchange. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it. Hey, Schefter, I know we got into college talk there and we wasted a lot of your time, but thank you so much.
You know what's amazing is you reached out this morning. We're going to come do this, and we said, okay, we're going to discuss the NFL coaching carousel because there's so much uncertainty. And while we're doing that, there's not a firing in Jacksonville, which everybody's been waiting to see what happens there, but there's a firing in New York. So on back-to-back days, the Giants bench Daniel Jones and go to Tommy DeVito. The Jets fire Joe Douglas. Nothing like New York to produce drama and headlines and fodder for the tabloids.
Football is the greatest. The NFL never stops, and that's why we appreciate your time. Senior NFL insider for ESPN, Michigan man. Next year, brother. Next year. Next year. Got to get a quarterback.
Basketball. Dusty Maytime, Pat. Dusty Maytime.
Never heard of him. You know the main event?
The man.
You know the main event? Do you know who that is?
Who's that?
Okay, so he wants our college ball. You know Mick White guy?
Come on.
Liam?
No.
You don't know Mick
I'm
White guy?
embarrassing myself. Who's Mick White?
Mick White guy.
Mick White guy. He's Liam McNeely. He's a freshman for UConn. You know who UConn is? Huskies?
I've heard of them, yeah.
They got a freshman on their team, Mick White guy. Oh my God!
Kid light it up.
He's got no. Well, we're the only ones calling him that, and we have no idea how he feels about it. But he's got a headband. He's got this curly hair.
Perfect.
I mean, he is a throwback.
Yeah,
he's a throwback, and he's playing very real minutes for the back-to-back national champions who are looking to do something for the first time since the UCLA team back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Win 3 in a row. So they won 7, I guess, but win 3 in a row. So what a time! All right, so we got college hoops, college ball, GM firings. Coach conversation, and potential names for the field. We did it, Schefter. This is a good hit.
Yeah. Anytime. I'm here to serve, Pat. Anytime, anything you need. Always here to help, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter. Thank you.
Schefter. Classic Michigan, man.
Classic
Schefty.
Yeah.
Has that guy ever not answered for us?
No.
Legitimately. I think I've called him like early morning one time, very early, and he like in bed answered. Can I help you? Yeah. Listen. I need to know. And he's like, let me get to the ball. Can I call you back? You got it. I'm like, thank you, Schefty. And then I just seen him on TV, I think like 4 hours before that. That guy never stopped. He's an actual machine.
Oh, yeah.
He's an actual machine.
He can never be on Do Not Disturb.
Ever.
He always, hey, what's up? I'm sleeping right now, but what's up?
Yeah, I'll break that news. Yep. Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds.
Gotta find clothes. Yeah, I could be on TV right now. It's like the work ethic, the engine. There's only a few of those jobs as well.
Yeah.
There's only a few of those jobs. You got to really, the connections you have to get, the grind that you have to. It's nowhere near as hard as like a, firefighter, policeman, military. We're not talking about that. We're not comparing actual jobs to what we get to do or anything like that. Those people, nowhere near that. But his particular job, the taskiness of it. It's just tasking. Like you are always on. And he gets paid a hilarious amount of money for it. Like let's not get it twisted. He adds a lot of value to a network that makes a lot of money. So obviously he's going to get paid a lot. But that one's the one, if you're getting in the media world, to not sign up for.
Nope.
That one's the one to not sign up for. Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, senior insider for the NBA for ESPN, Shams Charania.
Yeah,
Shams, we just talked to Schefter. Obviously, Joe Douglas gets fired from the New York Jets, and then we talk about some head coaching changes and yada, yada, yada. That inevitably leads to a conversation about the insider game and the amount of, you would never compare your job to real jobs that are tough, like those types of things. But in the media world, your guys' job is the most tasking. It is the most, you gotta, everything. You just gotta be on all the time. How has it been becoming the senior insider at ESPN? I assume a little bit more, or has this been about the same as it's been for the last couple of years, just a little bit more people know now?
The job is literally the exact same. It's just like you said, it's more people, more eyeballs. There's more people to talk to for shows and everything. I mean, you know what that's like. So that's definitely been a transition. I feel like where I was before, you had relationships already set. Now you're building new ones. But I mean, the position is the position. You have to really love it. I'm sure Schefter does. I know he does. I know all of the insiders. You have to love what you do to do this industry. And I love it. I mean, even like last night, something happens. You try to dig up as much information as you possibly can, and then figure out: do I report it? What do I do with all the information that I have? And then you get to a point. All right, maybe I can report it. Maybe I can't. And that's kind of like you're really in a battle with yourself every single day on what's reportable, what isn't reportable.
Okay, well, we want to let you know we appreciate you doing it. Congrats.
Yeah,
You've earned it, brother. You've earned it. You didn't just fall to this. Your screen time, everything like that is obviously very commendable. That's why you're in the position you're in. Keep going, keep working. Now, let's talk about it. What happened last night? You gave an example. You said, like, something happens last night, then I dig up a bunch of stuff. What is that particular news that you're chatting about, and is it reportable?
Yeah, I literally just put it out as soon as Joe Douglas was getting fired. So it happened in simultaneous moment. But last night, the 76ers had a team meeting. This is a team that's 2-11. They're in a free fall right now. Obviously, when you get Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George together, a 2-11 start, this isn't what you're expecting. And last night, they had an hour-and-a-half long team meeting in that post-game locker room in Miami. And I think a lot was said, a lot was accepted, a lot was aired out. Coaches saying we need players to practice harder, show more attention to detail. Players saying we need to be coached harder. We want to be coached harder. But most notable of all that, Pat, I was told Tyrese Maxey, the 24-year-old young star, he challenged Joel Embiid, the face of the franchise, the former league MVP, that we need you to be on time for team activities, and saying that there's a trickle down effect when you are missing, when you are tardy, when you are late for what I was told everything was the line. It has an effect on the rest of the locker room, the rest of the players, the coaching staff. And yesterday, Joel Embiid was listed doubtful most of the day. Teammates, coaches, no one really heard from him. And then he shows up at warmups, plays in the game. They had a double-digit lead, great lead in the first half, completely 180 flip in the second half. And from what I'm told, it was kind of like this. Big fella is someone that Tyrese Maxey loves, but this was the elephant in the room, and Tyrese Maxey addressed it. They're very close. They're very close friends. They hold each other accountable. But last night, Tyrese Maxey delivered a message to Joel Embiid that I think a lot of people saw coming for a really long time in Philadelphia. And now they go from here on what are the action steps. What will Joel Embiid look like when the team plays in Memphis on Wednesday? What will he hone in on the message that was given to him and really put that into action over the next week or so? We're about to find out. But the fact that Tyrese Maxey, their young leader, is the one that stepped up with this. He's not going to just speak out for nothing.
I love that from Tyrese Maxey, and obviously if the rest of the team felt that same way in the meeting, they would have said either yes or no to his messaging to Joel Embiid. Paul George obviously just got there, probably didn't feel as if he's the right guy yet in that locker room to talk about anything happening, especially with how bad the start of the year has been with him being on a team. So Tyrese Maxey just got paid, though, didn't he, right?
Yeah, he got a max.
He just got paid, so he is a guy that is expected to show up for that team. So him looking at Olympic gold medalist Joel and saying, like, hey, we need you not to be late. And Joel asked back for what? And then the team goes, everything.
All the
That's maybe a nice, like, wake-up moment.
That's huge.
That's maybe a nice wake-up moment. And that's good leadership out of Tyrese Maxey, but also, conflict. Big Mike McCarthy used to say to the Green Bay Packers team, conflict's a good thing, because when people are wondering what people are thinking, now they know what people are thinking, and you could potentially move on. It's like back in the day, people used to fight, actually fight, and then it was like, all right, we move on. Now, we might not be friends, but we're going to move on. In teams, whenever you kind of air grievances, usually that brings people together because now everybody knows where everybody stands. Mm-hmm. So this could be a good thing. Early in the season, is this normal in the NBA this early in the season to have one of these?
These types of meetings are normal, but to have it this early in the season for a team like Philadelphia, it is. I mean, this is the first players-only team meeting. It involved players, involved coaches, a full throttle meeting, hour and a half after the game. This is the first big moment that I've seen so far this season, the Sixers being the first team to that. You think about their payroll. They have 3 players on these massive max contracts. You fill out the rest of the roster. You think you have a chance to compete for a championship. This was supposed to be the year for Philadelphia, and we know what's gone on with Joel Embiid this year. It was a plan in place to bring him along this season, to make sure that he's healthy for the second half of the season. And that was their goal. And he misses time to start the year. He gets into the altercation with the columnist in Philadelphia, gets suspended 3 games. The team gets fined $100,000. I mean, they literally, the team got fined $100,000 for a player participation violation based on what they were saying about Joel Embiid. He got suspended 3 games. He got a technical foul. All of this before he even stepped foot on the court, and they're 0-3 since he's been back in the lineup. And now it's a situation where everyone's looking at Joel Embiid in there right now. And how is he going to react? Like you said, Pat, this is good. And when it comes from a guy like Tyrese Maxey, these are the conversations that they have behind the scenes. For it to be out there in a team dynamic, in a locker room, in a setting like this, in front of the coaches, in front of the players, it is kind of unique, kind of rare for that to happen when you have 2 stars challenging each other in a meeting.
Okay, so I don't know the NBA culture. I wasn't in an NBA locker room, so I'm not 100% sure. In the NFL world, we kind of just had something happen with Anthony Richardson. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, he's not Joel Embiid, MVP, been around a long time. Anthony's 22, but he ended up getting publicly called out by like everybody, including some teammates being like, this team doesn't work hard. Not about him, but about the whole thing. And we played our best game, and now we got everything in front of us too. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that happens for the Philadelphia 76ers. We're wishing luck to everybody, but I do appreciate the fact that when you were looking for more information on a story, and said, what's he late? Like, can you give me some examples of what he's late to? And they just said, fucking everything.
Yeah, just name something.
That's wild. That is
the
wild.
Culture. You setting the culture. You're the highest paid. He one of the highest paid player in the league, right?
Yeah.
You just signed a new deal, so that's obviously that's your leader. Tyrese Maxey's an absolute dog. Probably I would say their best player right now, but Joel Embiid is going to set that culture with how he's showing up.
Maxey's like the fastest guy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If I remember the playoff run,
Very.
he was going insane or something like that. Yeah.
Was Joel doing this when he was French?
That is interesting.
It could be an American thing.
Is this an American thing?
And are we to blame?
Yeah, no, because he got a gold medal out of it, so we're good.
Yeah, but got a gold medal, but at what cost?
Yeah.
There's a lot that's important around teams, though, right? There's a lot, right? You guys know, there's meetings, there's film sessions, there's the game, there's team meals, there's team activities, there's all these different things when you're trying to build flights, buses, when you're trying to build that camaraderie with the team and the dynamic. Listen, it's one thing if you're, let's say from bigger picture perspective, you guys, Pat played, DB played. If a guy is dominating night to night, he's putting up 40 points, 20 rebounds every single night, and he's late, I mean, maybe things slide.
Be who you can afford to be is like the old adage, be who you can afford to be. But normally the people that are doing that, there's a reason, and it's because everything in their life is a certain way, And
they're not winning chips either.
Yeah, exactly.
They put up numbers, but they're not winning
But
chips.
2-11, now is the time for urgency. This next 10 games for the Sixers, that's going to make or break really their season.
We're already at that point. For
are you kidding me? What a joke. I'm supposed to be worried about
Hey,
this
good luck,
team.
Philly. Hey, I'm John. Hey, the Eagles playing great football.
Eagles are hot. Birds are hot.
Birds are hot. Sirianni's baby face. I mean, there's a lot going on. All right, let's bounce around the NBA a little bit. D-Butch got a question.
Yeah, let's go to the other coast. LeBron, obviously his team. You haven't heard many stories about that over his 20-something year career. But J.J. Redick, new head coach in town. How are things going there? I know they're on a 5-game winning streak. West Side Connect kind of been breaking out. What's the vibes over there in L.A.?
West Side Connect. I know DB loved that one.
Absolutely.
I think JJ Redick has been everything that anyone that knows JJ Redick in terms of how detail oriented he is. He's focused. He lives, breathes, and eats basketball. Like literally 9 a.m. There's a 7 p.m. Pacific time game at 9 a.m. He's ready for the game to start. Like that's his mentality. He's go, go, go. It's like he's always on edge, ready for action. And I think that energy for the team, I think they live off that. I think they've handled it well over the course of the season. He's definitely broken a clipboard or two. I would say
over knee. Is it over knee or is it off ground
with his brain?
I don't have details. You know what? That's next. I'm gonna figure out for you guys how he's breaking them. But I'm telling you, there have been multiple clipboards broken. But I think players have responded very well to how much he cares, and that care factor is very important. But on the other side, I mean, you have LeBron James at the age of 39. He's about to be 40 years old next month. He's having a career high in 3-point percentage, career high in free throw percentage.
Unbelievable.
And this is the lowest usage rating of his NBA career, second most assists per game. So you have the lowest usage rating of your NBA career, but you have the second most assists per game over the course of your career. Like, to me, that's pretty remarkable. And this has really become Anthony Davis's team in a lot of ways. Offensively, he is at the orbit of everything they do. And I think the way LeBron James has been able to surround that orbit and still be able to get dominate when he needs to. The other night in New Orleans, closing out that game with a 3Z hit, 10+ points in the fourth quarter. He's dropping dimes everywhere. So he's at his peak. And that's why it's crazy that he's probably got 1 year, maybe 2 left of his NBA career, but he's dominating, and I think this Lakers team should have a lot of confidence of where they're at. Obviously, Connect looks like he's a real player, and you have multiple first-round picks to play with. You have contracts to play with. Could there be a move potentially as well at the deadline?
Who, where? Out, in?
Zach LaVine?
Who?
I think when you look at this team, they're a team that could, you look at guard help, and you look at the center position. What position do they prioritize? That's for Rob Pelinka, that Lakers front office over the next few months. They're going to have to figure out. You had D'Angelo Russell starting to begin the season. Now he's coming off the bench. Is he going to settle into that role? How is he going to play in that role as the year goes on? And they have said for a while, and I've reported this already, they are looking actively for a big man to add to that lineup. So who could that be? But they have assets to play with. They have contracts to play with.
Valanciunas.
Who could that be?
Gotta be Vukovic.
Vukovic.
Garza.
There are a few names out there. I don't think that they have fully targeted a name yet.
Okay, Shams, whenever you get a name, please. We would like to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, trust me. Come on, Pat. You know you guys will know.
The NBA trade deadline is the NBA trade deadline is awesome.
It is.
Every single year. It is fantastic. I'm excited to see what the Lakers do because obviously it's LeBron. Maybe that's why Bronny's only playing the home G League games because they want to showcase how good he is. Just in case trade deadline.
Sure.
Yeah. Anybody wants to pick up Bronny, they get Wemby.
Yeah.
Get Wemby.
Wemby for Bronny in a couple picks.
Yeah, Bronny in a couple firsts for Wemby.
What is going on with Bronny? We love Bronny. We talked to Rich Paul literally day after draft about, hey, there was a couple teams that understood the process of this entire thing, And I hate the fact that everybody gets so mad. Like, if his name wasn't Bronny James, would we be doing this? It's like, no, but that's why we are doing it because we know what's possible and the world he grew up in, which is like GOAT conversation since the guy, 14 years old on the magazine?
Yeah.
When did he get the Hummer? He was 17 or something like that? 17, he was on that. I watched him in high school. He came to Pittsburgh to take on the Pennsylvania All-Star team, his high school did. All-Stars. Best players we got from the whole fucking state. Just LeBron's high school. Beat the shit out of him. I mean, it was sold the place out in Pittsburgh, this guy. This is before the internet. Yeah. This is before, you go viral and do it. Could you imagine LeBron in high school in this era right now? Oh, my God. So, we are going to treat his kids a little different. That is what is going to happen. What is the plan with Bronny, and is it working to how they thought it was going to work out?
Continue to keep him around the active roster as much as they can, but also he's going to be playing G League home games for right now. So he's going to be shuttling back and forth, practicing with the G League team, practicing with the Lakers, being on the Lakers active roster, playing in the G League home games. Bronny James isn't just your normal everyday G League player for all the reasons we just mentioned. His name is Bronny James, and there are some things with him that just go with it, right? I don't know if it's a security thing, but there's a different level of fanfare when he's on the road for these G League games, different level of everything when he's with that G League team. So how do you manage that on the road? I don't think the door is necessarily completely shut on him playing in those road games as the G League season goes on. But right now, that is the plan that the Lakers have laid out, and they want him to continue to shuttle back and forth, spend as much time on the active roster as possible. It is very typical for a second-round pick to shuttle back and forth with the G League. But it would be atypical of a second-round pick potentially just only spending time in the G League, right? I think people are like, why isn't he just only in the G League? Well, if you're a second-round pick, he's got 3 years guaranteed on his deal. He's an NBA player that's going to spend time in the G League.
Yeah, and I think that 3-year thing was kind of the conversation through it all. And I guess didn't have the greatest performance.
Yeah, he's hot and cold. He had a really good showing a few nights ago, and then it's just hot and cold.
And then what? Connor?
And it wasn't great the last one, but hey, look, that's basketball, baby.
Second rounder going from G League to NBA roster. I don't think we'd know about either, right? Would we talk about? So, which is another aspect of this entire thing.
Yeah.
I mean, kid's entire life has been viewed.
He's not on a two-way. He's not on a two-way. He's not on a prove-it deal. He's on a guaranteed contract. Now, I know you guys had Rich Paul on, and he spoke about, they had a lot of two-way offers in the draft. He wanted to get him somewhere where he was going to get a guaranteed contract. There were multiple teams. The Lakers weren't – I will report this. The Lakers were not the only team that was willing to give Bronny James
I think this is all about having patience, not cutting them and keeping them around. LeBron has a lot of say over there. Happy International Women's Day. We know that. Okay? So, nonetheless, he should. He's earned it. That's how it goes. And hopefully it'll all work out for him because that's a business decision for sure. Just like ESPN bringing you in, brother. We can't thank you enough for joining us. You're the best.
Appreciate you guys, always.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on with Zion? What's going on with Zion? We're good? We got 2 seconds.
Zion's going to be out for a considerable amount of time. He has.
All right. We'll see you in the next hour. Right. See you. Thanks. That's good. That's good. Belle Sessions, who got here at 3 a.m. this morning, was the winner. Her ticket was pulled, and you thought to yourself immediately, what, Belle?
I knew I couldn't do it, and he was next to me, and he said that he could, so we're splitting it. Okay, so Belle Sessions made the decision to talk to my man, Henry Silver, who Henry got here yesterday at
It's 6 p.m. He's been waiting for this moment. Now, Henry, you told her that you could make it. Why do you think that's the case? Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I've kicked the ball before. I've played soccer my whole life. I think I can do it.
This kick is for $150,000. You said you would split it in half, right? Okay, so let's make it $200,000. If you make it, you will both get $100,000. Where are you from, Henry?
I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Colts?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Come on, bro. Hell yeah. To hell with the Falcons. That was rude. They didn't deserve that. I like that. Henry, 33 yards, $100,000 for you, $100,000 for her, $200,000 to hurricane relief, $400,000 on the line. Henry, are you ready?
Of course.
Have you ever said anything bad about kickers?
Of course.
Shut up. Let's go. Now, here in Athens, Georgia, it would be beautiful if $400,000 would be up for grabs. Why don't we double it? Because the Georgia Bulldogs. So, $800,000 kick right here, Henry. But what I want to let you know is you're not getting a second opportunity. I don't care if this entire place starts chanting for a second kick. One kick, 800,000 racks. 400,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 to you two split, 200 grand each. Henry Silver from Indiana for Bell Sessions. Let's go, Henry. Oh my! Henry, come in, buddy. Come in. Let me see this, Henry. That was amazing. I mean, he walked in like, Henry! Congratulations, Henry! Congratulations, Bell! Dude! Congratulations, Georgia! What a morning! College game day's the greatest! College football's amazing! Bell, you just...
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is fantastic, and we're so lucky to talk about it every single day. In the first hour, we didn't just talk football, though. No. We talked basketball. A lot of basketball. And it was a good conversation. Feels like we learned a lot. I guess Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers last night, young star for the 76ers last night, called out Joel Embiid after a loss, I guess, to Miami and said, hey, we need you to stop being late to everything. If you could just be on time one time. Allegedly, that's reports from Shams Charania. So look for the 76ers to make a turn in the right direction.
That's right.
Look for the 76ers to have it figured out. Look for the 76ers to not throw away this season this early in the year, but to actually make a run at it and maybe be a team that could battle against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, who are the team of the Eastern Conference. Did we know that going in? Let's go to the talks table at Boston Connor. I didn't know that the Cleveland Cavaliers are actually the wagon of the Eastern Conference. I thought it was just one team up in New England and then everybody else. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Ty Schmidt, have you seen or heard what the Cleveland Cavaliers have done this year?
15-0. I mean, has that ever been done in the history of the NBA before?
I don't know. What's going on in the Eastern Conference? I thought there was some gold that lived in a city.
And it does.
That was only going to continue. What's going on up there? They play tonight, right? Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics. Tonight, I believe it is. What is the conversation going on around the Celtics about this Cleveland Cavaliers dominance thus far?
Oh, there's no conversation going around the Celtics when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Really?
The Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. I believe you remember in the playoffs. And Mike the Miz had a nice little bet, and I swept the floor with him. And the Celtics swept the floor with the Cavs. Look, it's cool being 15-0 to start the season. It is a great story. The Cavs are a very good basketball team, but no, we are not worried whatsoever. Jason Tatum this weekend. How you doing? Keep it moving. Buzzer beater winner in OT. You got to love
that guy's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, he couldn't play either. But still, this is a team that is very, very good. Tonight's game is going to be fantastic. Just saw it, 5.5-point favorites against the undefeated Cavs. And it is a great story. But the real story here is Shams before the season asking everybody who's a Celtics fan, are you worried about the Sixers? And are you worried about the Bucks? No, we're not. The Celtics aren't worried about anybody. We don't have
to be. Was that
Shams
right there?
Yeah, that was Shams. Do you like it?
I didn't know you were an impersonator. I thought Ty normally did.
Yeah, well, Ty's got a few in his bag. I got a few in mine. Yeah. And Shams is one of them. But no, the Celtics.
What was it again? What did he say?
BC, worried about the Sixers?
I don't know.
That's pretty good. That's not bad.
Thank you.
If I close my eyes,
he's going to say that to any other impersonator.
No. That's not because you don't have a Shams, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, see, that's kind of I'm not just a one-trick pony, as they say. No big deal. But
who else?
Who else do you?
I mean, I got a Glazer, but it's kind of reminiscent of Bruce Brown Glazer. From being completely honest.
Anyways,
I got a lot of insiders actually.
Okay, I can't wait to see these debut and roll out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see Dooch Danger even make an appearance in this. But Sixers seemingly in a tough spot. Bucks also in a tough spot. That's what you're talking about here, not so much the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, to be completely honest, the Eastern Conference is so bad. It really is just the Cavs and the Celtics,
and the Pacers. Obviously,
the Pacers are so bad. We need to have an uncomfortable conversation about the Indiana Pacers that I don't want to have right now because I'm feeling good about this Tuesday and I'm feeling great about this gold coming back to Boston.
Every time you hit that in your speaker, your mic doesn't work.
I noticed that. That was the first time I noticed that happening. That's on me. Hand up. We're learning. We're getting better every day.
Yes, you are. Just like the Celtics.
Boom. Just unlike the Pacers. Pacers are really bad right now, man. Tyrese can't come back here. He can't come back.
What do you mean? I thought he's been playing good since he left.
Oh boy, he's not playing.
He put on a shooting performance in the Thunderdome
that was biblical.
That we thought was actually going to flip the entire thing.
Oh yeah,
legit. As he walked out of here, it's like what he just did. There's no way.
Never going to miss a shot again.
Tyrese.
Yeah,
it was. That's exactly. That's exactly what everybody in the Thunderdome was thinking as he left. It was like we just did something good for the Pacers right there. We just set up a moment for Tyrese to have where he went unconscious in here.
It was sick.
It was cool to watch somebody that's like, oh, this is a professional. Like that is literally what you're watching. He goes from 4-point level shots in the big three, which is like, I don't know, like 4 feet behind the NBA three-point line. So we have NBA three-point lines in here, obviously 2 of them. Down on this end, down here to the camera's left, we play this game called 33. It is a 3-point shooting game and a tip game. It's a basketball game where you have to be active, but you don't have to run. So it is perfect game.
It's awesome.
Yeah, each team shoots from each spot. You know, if they make a 3-pointer, it's worth 2. Underneath, you get 3 chances to tip. Tip is obviously catch and throw while jumping in the same jump air. You get it. He went bonkers. It was me and Foxy, first he and Boston Connor, and we had a lead. Me and Foxy had a lead.
A massive one.
Yeah.
And we were a little worried about everything that was happening because me and Foxy had such a lead. I mean, it was like 20-plus point lead or whatever, which is tough to do. And then, you know, talking a lot of shit to Tyrese Halliburton about potentially beating it. Now, it's without running an actual skill, so it's just shooting and tips or whatever. That's the game. You know, kind of brings everything down to a reality sense. If you have a shooter, we were talking a lot of shit, and he flipped the switch.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a shooting performance like it. We're talking about didn't even hit the rim for like 20 straight shots that were 4 feet behind NBA 3. And while he was doing it, he was telling us to shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
And it was splash.
It was awesome.
And then Connor would feel the mic, and Connor would splash.
On fire.
And then Tyrese splash. And then Connor make. Then Tyrese splash. Connor missed. Tyrese has to make it now. If he doesn't make it, There's no bonus shots. He's never going to catch up to us. Tyrese said, talk shit, shut up. I don't even know the rules. Throws the thing up, doesn't even touch the rim. Doesn't even come, nice, cleanest shot of all time. Then he goes all the way back, does the same exact thing. Then he just keeps shooting, like, in our face. Like, this whole thing. Couldn't help but just think, holy fuck, we just unlocked it.
Yeah,
he had to have a bunch of football doofuses talk shit to him and beat him, which is what we were doing at the time, for him to be like, all right, enough of the shit and lock in. That is not what has happened?
No. Damn. Friday, obviously.
Come on, Todd!
I don't think he's made a shot since.
What?
That's not true, Nick. No, but Friday after he came in here, they got their asses handed to him by the Heat. And then Sunday, I'm not really sure. I believe last night wasn't a great showing for the Pacers either. But look, they figure it out more so halfway through the year. It's just the Eastern Conference as a whole, aside from the Celtics and the Cavs, are off to a slow start.
Okay, and we'll keep our eye on it for sure. And the Cavs and the Celtics for the Kings of the East will be playing tonight on
TNT.
Oh.
With ESPN show inside the NBA.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Leading that entire thing. That is huge news. Can't wait to watch that. Happy it's all back. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys AP Tony's here. 9-year NFL vet. Darius J. Butler's here looking super cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Whoa.
Comments should be worried, though. You should be worried.
About what? No.
Last team that went 15-0, you know what they did?
What'd they do?
They won it all.
Wow.
Who was that?
The Golden State Warriors. They had a little better team. But
Whoa.
Yeah.
Golden
State
I think
Warriors.
they got a 16-0, actually, but won it all.
Yeah, Golden State and Cleveland.
They got the what in 16?
16-0.
Record's the same.
That would be tonight? 16? Oh, my.
5.5-point dogs.
In your guys' face?
in Boston.
Dance with Destiny.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. And then what happens if the team that beats them by 20 when they're 15-0? What does that team do?
Well, that's actually a good point, because there's a lot of basketball season left. If you win by 20, what does that mean? Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man whose team, if they win by 20 plus this weekend, is going to potentially throw the entire college football world into a state of chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of the state of Ohio, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
Hawker, I know you love the NBA, so we got that conversation out of the way, and we will certainly dive.
The Embiid situation is very intriguing to me. Like, when he said he's late to everything, that's crazy. That can't be true, right?
My sources are telling me everything. Hey, what was he late to? That's a good question. Everything. So he had to ask multiple people in there. Like, is it training? Is it practice? Is it shoot around? Is it flights? Is it bus? Is it eat maybe? Or is it what rehab? What is it? All that, yeah. And also, you didn't even mention this. It's like, holy shit, he just checked out. Does he not want to be there?
That's wild.
How normal is this in the NBA? I don't know. I don't really know all this.
Pretty awesome what he did yesterday, though. Just not talking to anyone all day and then showing up like 10 minutes before the game when he's doubtful and being like, yeah, I think I'm going to go tonight.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's pretty
incredible.
Cool.
That is
pretty
crazy.
Cool. It's old school.
Granted, they got their asses beat, but that's still kind of neat.
Yeah, he's an Olympic gold medalist, and maybe it is the United States of America's issue. Maybe it is because he became an American for the Olympics, and then this has all happened, or maybe he just wants out of there. And I don't even know if that would be that abnormal in the NBA, right? Because that kind of how
He just got paid.
Yeah, he got like a 3-year, $170 or $180 million deal. But
that matters.
That would not be abnormal. Yeah, guys sign deals and then are like, you know what? I want to play somewhere else now.
And if you're good enough, be who you can afford to be. Yeah. Good luck, everybody. We hope everybody figures it out.
Good luck.
Now, back to what I mentioned about your particular school. In the game this weekend happening in Columbus. Can't wait to get out there for college game day starting 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday morning on ESPN. Numbers just came out for this past weekend at Georgia. Still biggest year of all time.
Nice.
Thank you all so much for watching and spending Saturday mornings with us. We are incredibly lucky to cover the great sport of college football, and that particular sport will be thrust into chaos if this is ugly. Now, I heard the way you were chirping on the phone earlier, and I don't want to out you to people, but Ohio State people think this is a 28 to 35 point win over Indiana. That is real. And if that happens, the next CFP ranking that comes out next Tuesday is going to be one of the loudest talked about things in the sports history. Now, I know the BCS world was wild. I know the 2-team playoff was wild back in the day, just the championship. I know BCS, I know the 4-team playoff was wild. Like, I know all that shit was crazy. But the strength of schedule conversation versus a record conversation in one of the powerful conferences is going to get all brought to light. How do you think this goes this weekend, AJ, for real? And are you buying in what everybody else is saying where Indiana hasn't played anybody? They haven't played anybody. These guys don't even know. Is that the conversation that's happening around Ohio State? Not just you, but obviously around Ohio State.
No, I mean, I don't think people are sitting there pointing at Indiana saying, hey, their strength of schedule is no good, which I didn't even really realize it until as of late when people are looking at it and pointing it out. That's not Indiana's fault. We know we've said that a million times. You can only beat who you're playing, and they've done a great job of that. But I don't remember a time when a game does matter to where, like, Indiana either has to find a way to win or lose by a little bit, right, to keep things okay. Like that's what has to happen.
They got to cover the 14. Cover that 14.
That is like the conversation that's happening nationally. It's like, listen, if they're going to lose to Ohio State, okay,
make it a game. Make it a game.
18.5. Okay, the spread's 14, but I think optically we give them 18.5, 19 points, right? If this thing's 20 points or more, we're done. We got no time for this, right? We're wasting a spot. There's only 11 spots if you don't count for the Power 5 champion that's automatically getting one of the 12-team bids or whatever. So it's like that is what this conversation is going to become. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute stud, a man who covers college football for ESPN. He's obviously been a college football coach for like 30-plus years. He was formerly at Florida. We're lucky he's at ESPN. Coach Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Hey.
Great to be with you guys today.
Hey, thank you for coming back on, brother. We appreciate the hell out of you. And I want to let you know, watching you, Matt Barry, Boog, and the team operate is one of my favorite things to do throughout the entire football season. I spend a lot of time with you guys, so thank you for your work and your wisdom.
We have a lot of fun up there. You know, I mean, you get that fun deal, though, on a Saturday. I get to watch you guys in the morning, right? And we're in studio getting ready to get on set as you guys are checking out. You get to go enjoy the rest of the day of college football. We finished taping that me, Joey Galloway, and Matt finished taping that college football final about 2 a.m. because somehow these West Coast games become right down to the final play of the game, and we're waiting for this final outcome about 2 in the morning. With last week, it was BYU seeing if they can make the comeback, right? The week before was BYU, Utah. We've got Colorado. I envy you. You get to go enjoy the day of college football. We're sitting there in studio, even though we do have an ultimate man cave there. Not quite like yours set up, but it's not bad.
Well, I would actually be interested in seeing what your guys' look like. And also like the Fox one, the CBS one, like how they watch all the games. I would like to see what the setup is like because watching all those games is not easy. Just as somebody that tries to do it every single weekend on Saturday and on Sunday for this particular program. Keeping up with all the storylines, obviously not easy. There's a shit ton going on. But the way the entire ESPN college football crew throughout the day operates, I love that shit. I think you guys do a very good job. I think you're fantastic. Now, let's talk about some of it. So we were just chit-chatting about the Ohio State-Indiana game. And obviously with this 12-team playoff, one of the bids is going to go to a Power 5 conference regardless. So 11 spots up, we should see how they lay out. But this whole strength of schedule, who plays where, you can already hear it coming from a lot of people in the SEC when they're talking about how hard their conference is. You can already hear it coming from some people in the Big Ten whenever they're talking about like Indiana and others. How do you feel going into this weekend about this Ohio State-Indiana game, and what do you think inevitably becomes of all of it?
Well, you know, I think there's still a bunch of football to be played, and the one thing you see, like last week, the rankings came out, and there was a complete meltdown in the state of Georgia. Like, how can we be out? Look at what we've done, everything going on. So there's going to be some arguments that go on over the next couple of weeks. Listen, I give a lot of credibility to winning, and so you have to win football games. Indiana's won all of their games. They deserve some of the credit they have now. Now, they did hit a scheduling jackpot this year, right? They hit the lottery, but you know what? So did Texas. I don't hear everybody complaining. Texas has played one game, right? The schedule early in the season looked tough, but that Michigan win's not that great right now. You know, I mean, that's not a high-end win. Oklahoma win, that doesn't look that good right now, even though they're marquee names. Heck, Penn State hit the scheduling jackpot. You know, so to sit there and say, hey, Indiana, I know you've dominated everybody you've played. You've won every game by 14 points or more all season long. But if you don't beat Ohio State or you don't keep it close, you're definitely out when all the other teams get the benefit of the doubt. So I think it'll be interesting to see how things shake out. But you know what? After tonight, there's going to be a fan base somewhere that's going to have a complete meltdown. But then, you know what? Show up and win on Saturday, and you'll fix your problems like Georgia did last week.
I appreciate you pointing out the fact that other teams like Texas haven't had like this strongest schedule, and obviously Penn State, they lose to Ohio State and they come back and do their thing. In Indiana being judged differently. I legitimately appreciate you saying that, because they are a team that's popped up out of nowhere. Literally. Cignetti just signed the biggest deal a college football coach has ever signed in the state of Indiana. I mean, you're talking just a massive, massive number for good reason, because they sold that stadium out for the first time, I think, like in forever, let's just say. It's become a football campus, a football university, and I think there's going to naturally be some people that are a little bit harsher on their football team versus others, which is why football judgment matters so much. How much do you think that is actually getting into account whenever they're making their actual rankings and projections? Do you think they're watching these games together? Do you think they're pointing out things like, hey, did you see the offensive line? The offensive line's got great. I mean, they were absolutely manhandling a team that was maybe a little bit bigger than them, like what they could face in the SEC. Like how do you think the football judgment actually works with these people that are on the committee?
I think they try to do it. You know, I mean, they're not all football people that are on that committee either. You know, I mean, you guys have played football. You know what it's like. Listen, the one thing, and I'll give teams credit this, like to say that if you go undefeated, I've coached and played a long time. I won a state championship as a player. I've won a couple conference championships, national championships as a coach. Won undefeated once at Utah in 2004. But I think the subliminal. I think they want to go in there and very objectively look at everything and give everybody a chance. But you know that in the back of your mind, you're sitting there saying, you know, I mean, listen, if we're trying to figure out who's going to the NCAA tournament in March, we're going to give Indiana the benefit of the doubt. But you know, this is college football, and you know, in the back of their mind, I think there's that little bias right there. I mean,
it's real. That's just reality. That's just reality, Coach. It sucks.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. And, you know, you make the argument. I look at SMU. SMU's one loss is to BYU, who was pretty good. And we found out last week how hard it is to go undefeated. If you just, you know, you show up, these are 18 to 20. I know they're getting paid now. I know we think they're professionals. But they're 18 to 22-year-old kids, you know, and it's hard to keep that focus and go undefeated for an entire season. And so I think you get that credit of where you are. I think, you know, the argument over the last couple of years, it's always about team number 4 in the 14th playoff, right? And it's like there's been this argument of who is 4. There really hasn't been much of an argument over 1, 2, and 3. Now this argument's going to come in huge. I think it's just expanded the argument. There's more teams available because it's really going to be 10, 11, and 12. I think there's going to be I look at the SEC right now and say there's 7 teams. You give South Carolina an outside chance because they're one of the hottest teams in the country. But there's 7 teams that have an opportunity to compete for at most 4 playoff spots, at most. And that means there's 3 fan bases that are going to be like
so mad.
This. You can sit there tonight, and if Ole Miss is on the outside looking in, and they're saying we beat Georgia by 3 scores, and we're on the outside now, like how we were on the inside last week. Now we're on the outside, or is Tennessee on the out? Who's on the outs? And it's going to be, you know, there's going to be some absolute meltdowns over the next couple of weeks on fan bases, which make college football great.
Yes, the fan base's passion and loyalty and like in-ness.
Let me ask you guys this one.
Go ahead.
Okay, if Indiana loses, they got to be out.
No. How much? What's the score?
Yeah, what's the score?
Let's flip it. Let's flip it real quick.
Oh, okay.
Indiana wins by 14.
Ooh! They're number 1 team in the country.
Suck it, AJ.
Yeah. They're number 1.
Ohio State out? Are we giving Ohio State the boot at that point?
No, I think Indiana gets number 1 team in the country. All of a sudden, they drop Oregon to number 2, and everybody's going to go crazy about that entire thing. I mean, that is. Which, by the way, Cignetti. His halftime speech against Ohio State, with that group that he knows he's going to have to re-recruit another crew, basically. Mm-hmm. They got a lot of vets in there. They got a lot of seniors around there. They got a lot of people that have won a lot of football, is how he describes it, because they definitely have. And it's like, I think this one's going to be scrappy, but you got Ohio State fans over there, Dan. They're just.
I see. I'm looking.
Yeah, he's like,
right.
yeah.
I mean, it got very quiet when I said Ohio State could be out if they lose. The whole question is, it's like an assumption. Ohio State's already won the game. It's just by a matter of how much.
That is crazy.
What if it goes the other way? We're bashing in Indiana, saying, boy, they haven't played anybody they really shouldn't be in. They don't deserve this ranking. Well, if they come in and beat Ohio State at home, should Ohio State be the door? And don't let the door hit you on the way
Coach
out.
Ball is just saying, get them out.
I love it.
Get them
Best
out.
win, Penn State, right? Penn State, Ohio State's best win.
Penn State, massive win
Close
for.
loss to Oregon.
Yep, kept it close with Oregon. Came down a little.
Yeah, but Ohio State's great win is Penn State, who we said have not beaten anybody. Like we're in the end, like it's so fun to make all these arguments in college football,
and that's why tonight's show is so awesome. Tonight's show. Greg McElroy and Joey Galloway will battle. They will do, and Booger will do battle with them.
Yeah.
And then, Reese will have his entire angle from the College Football Playoff Committee, pretty much. I think this show is much better than anybody. I enjoy. Greg McElroy gets so pissed. He gets so mad up there, and I think it's how a lot of people feel. Now, he goes to bat, I think, for Indiana, because a lot of what you just said there, like, it's not their fault that this is their schedule, and you got 12 teams, and they're in the Big Ten, which is supposed to be one of the power of the Power Four, and now all of a sudden everybody's, like, hoping and waiting on them to fall off, which is why it is beautiful, to your point. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, when you're thinking of coaching in this playoff system right now with what's going on, I guess how much would it affect your play calling and your scheme when like, hey, I need to win. This needs to look good. We need to don't have to blow everybody out, but there's certain games when you need to look a certain way. Does that affect coaches' play calling and how they may prepare their teams, you think?
I think when it can affect you is maybe in the fourth quarter if the game's in hand at this point, right? You're sitting there and you're saying, hey, the game's in hand. It's been decided. I mean, I don't know if it's affecting you through the first three quarters. You're just trying to win a game. It's hard to win. And you're doing whatever you can to win a game. Now, there's not every eyeball's on every game, and the perception matters a little bit. So I think you're up there and you're saying, hey, okay, hey, we're up 10. I know we were, I don't want to jump all over Vegas and all that, but hey, we were favored by 16. We're up 10. With 3 minutes to go, I might take a shot right here. I might just let's make sure we hit that score so that we look better in everyone's eyes at the end of the game. It wasn't
because if I'm betting on you and you cover never, I hate you. Underperforming, like public perception.
Hey, this. Listen, as a coach, to say coaches don't look at that stuff, their coaches, trust me, coaches look at the spread because here's what happens. One, you want to look at it early in the week to see if something you're missing. If you're all of a sudden you're watching the film and you're like, hey, I feel pretty good, but we're like a 10-point underdog. You're like, oh, hold on, I better go watch something. Those guys know what they're talking about. Or if you're like a big favorite, you're like, am I missing something on film? The other one is it's amazing, right? If you're a coach and your team, you cover, you're a big underdog, but you cover. You know what the fan base is saying? Man, that coach, he's got those guys playing hard. They compete. They're out there tough, right?
Hell yeah.
If you win and don't cover, well, I'm not sure. It was a good win, but I don't know we're headed in the right direction, right?
Yeah, so not the performance we were expecting, right?
No.
Not what, right? I mean, we're undefeated technically. I've lost a lot. Betting on this team. I don't know about you. I'm happy to hear the self-awareness from an actual coach. Like I'm very thankful that you.
Now that I'm on the TV side, I can actually tell you the truth of what really goes on behind the scenes with the coaches. Because the coaches will give you, I don't pay attention. We're just worried about the one game. I don't notice about that. Just the next play. I don't even notice the score. We're focused on this play. I'll give you the real story of what goes on.
Could you fathom a college coach coming out and saying, I saw that we're favored by 10 at the beginning of the week, and I thought to myself, what is there? Because I thought this was a coin flip. I thought we matched up pretty well. Apparently we got a great matchup somewhere that I was missing, and damn, I found it. Yeah, you can run to the right on this team, which is what we got. And that would be hilarious. Everybody would be very intrigued, but then everybody automatically, this coach is shaving points right here. This coach is.
Score late.
It would be an entire thing.
That'd be a whole conversation.
Go ahead, D-Bucks.
Hey, this season has been obviously crazy back and forth. I feel like years past, you kind of knew who that team or who that quarterback leading that team, who you would bet on to make a run throughout the playoffs. Who's the best quarterback right now, in your opinion, as where the season stands right now?
I think it's pretty easy. It's Shedeur Sanders. You watch him play, the consistency week in and week out of what he's able to do and lead that team. Now, they're a very talented team, and Coach Prime's done an amazing job of turning that around. They do have probably the first and second pick in the draft, so you would hope they'd win some out there when you have that good of players. But I think watching how he's grown and mature, some of the other guys scare me. I'm really excited to see Curtis Rourke this week against Ohio State because I think he's had a hell of a year. But can he, in a big game, now throw this team on the shoulders and pick him up and carry him?
Wolverine,
you watch
Wolverine blood. Yeah. That guy got surgery on a Tuesday, was playing on the next Wednesday.
Unreal.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's an interesting, right? I mean, because everybody else has their faults. Jalen Milroe, they finally figuring out run the ball, man. Let the guy go run the ball, and he's a dominant player. He can still throw. Don't think you're not. But do what you do well. Cam Ward's got to learn to throw the ball on time, right? I mean, you just can't run around all over the place. He's got to get a little bit of rhythm. But I think you watch Shedeur. He can extend plays, make plays. He has tremendous arm strength all over the field. And when it calls for it, he gets the ball out on time, and he can play on rhythm, and then he can improvise, and he's getting a great feel on when to do both. So I think it's I mean, if I was a bet man, he's the guy you want right now to try to – you're going to go into a game to win a game in college football. And I'd be highly shocked if he's not the first pick taken in the draft.
He's tough, too.
Yeah.
He's tough, man. Obviously, you talk about the sack stats from last year, and then obviously this year he's taken some as well. Although that offensive line has gotten a lot better. Their defense has gotten a lot better. Go ahead.
You better get ready, right? Because chances are if you're the first pick in the draft, you're going to a crappy team, so you're going to get hit a lot again next year. So at least he's used to getting
But not everybody's tough, Coach. Not everybody's tough. That in Shedeur is definitely that. I mean, watch. He almost takes like pride in like getting up after getting absolutely slaughtered. They already got some teams lined up for him.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly.
Did he tweet thank God this Sunday after the
another thank God tweet after another Raiders loss? Okay. Just a trend that is starting to take place.
You got to be tough, too. You Deion's kid, every level since Little League, everybody's coming at your head, because you feel like, hey, you're well off. You got everything you want. Now that you're this rich kid out here. And now he's obviously handled that, mature, like Dan said. He's mature. He's gotten better as the years gone on. So on every level, from Jackson State and jumping up to Colorado to a different level of competition. So, yeah, I'm right on the same page with that.
Now, the interesting thing about that is by far best quarterback in everybody's eyes, but there's a trophy for best player at the end of the year. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, how do you feel about the Heisman race this year? Obviously, the Heisman typically is type one of those things like the NFL MVP where usually it'll go to a quarterback, but this year it feels like obviously Travis being the heavy favorite right now and G&T being second, it feels like it's not going to be a quarterback year for the Heisman. Do you think Travis is kind of the runaway, got to give it to him because of what he's doing this year? Or do you think that any of those guys kind of jump up and steal it from him over these last couple weeks?
The only one I think is if over the next 2 weeks something happens where he just falls off the face. I think he's done so much, and by not being a quarterback, I don't see him. He's not going to have a bad game because even if you take him away at the receiver position, he's over there making plays on defense. If you don't, so there could be a game where, hey, they double him and bracket him every single play, and he has like 1 or 2 catches. They don't throw his way. I think you're still looking at the game and saying, well, the team won because everybody on both sides of the ball was about him, and let's stay away from him on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to double him on the other side of the ball. And so I think it just shows so much. The only one I think that would have a chance is if G&T came out and just over the next couple of weeks just went off, with like back-to-back 300 yards, 6 touchdown games, something just ridiculous that it could get tight. But I think it's between those two. I love it. I love that it's not who's the quarterback of the number 1 team in the country. I hate that. I don't think the Heisman Trophy to me is the most outstanding player in college football, not the MVP of the number 1 team in the country.
Dylan Gabriel is wondering what the hell's going on, though.
Yeah.
Come on. How come this aren't we normally? This is kind of how this goes. Obviously, he's a great teammate. He's not worried about it.
He's going to get an invite to New York. He'll get a nice dinner out of it in the city. I mean,
steak dinner.
Right? I mean, you're going to go up there and you get to like a nice Italian dinner up in the city somewhere. He'll have a nice time.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. You get a nice time.
Yeah.
You get a nice time.
Cool. Do coaches think about that? I know you talked about the point spread, but do coaches going into games think about, hey, obviously you want to win the game, you want to win a national championship, but do you think about your quarterback or your receiver, your running back, whoever may be in that race down the stretch, getting them the ball more, getting them touchdowns, anything like that?
Absolutely. I think you do. Now, one, you're going to do it to make sure they get the ball because chances are if you have a guy that's that good on your team, you want him to be successful and to get his touches. But I do think, trust me, listen, in every game, it happens. You're sitting there saying, hey, this guy has an opportunity to do something special. I owe it to him to make sure it happens and give him that opportunity to make a play. I always get shocked and sometimes, I've had it happen once in a negative time. That the guy had a chance for a rushing record in a game and we're up. So I pulled him. Then the SID came down after the game and said, oh, he was only 4 yards away. And I'm like, you got to let us know that. I'll throw him in to get him a carry to give him the record for the school record or one of those deals. So you got people in your ear that are supposed to tell you that stuff. You know what I mean? You're a kicker. You're right. Think of a kicker. You have a guy that has a chance to sit there and like, hey, I might. We have a bunch of field goals, he has a chance to set a record. I have a chance at the end of the game. We'll roll out the field goal team and try one. Whatever you're doing for any player on the team, you want to give guys the opportunity to really set a standard and have pride and be rewarded for all the work they've put in, whether it's in a single game or over a course of a career.
As the all-time leading scorer for West Virginia University, I appreciate your mindset there. And shout out to Coach Stu. Shout out to Coach Stu for everything there as well. Because you're talking about a player like Genty. He's been benched in the second half of some games, fourth quarter of some games. And then whenever it's just going to be a stats conversation on whether or not he should be able to win over Travis Hunter, it's very fascinating. I love that you were coming from a coach's point of view when you were saying, the defense is worried about who? Travis Hunter. Offense is worried about who? Travis Hunter. Head coach is like, all I did this week was talk about Travis Hunter and how we try to not let him wreck this entire game. He's a great kid too, man. He's like everything you'd want him to be. Everything you'd want that person to be. One of a kind, anomaly. He's awesome. Hey, Travis, good job, man.
Hell yeah,
Way
Travis.
to go, Travis.
Way to go. Well, they're all deserving.
Amen. I agree completely. And hopefully in the future there's more players that are allowed to kind of play both ways. Now, let's talk about a conundrum that's certainly taken place in the Southeast. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, there's a couple things you said during this conversation that kind of piqued my interest. You said you thought the SEC would probably get 4 teams, which, Ole Miss beats Georgia. Georgia beats Tennessee. Tennessee beats Bama. Bama beats Georgia. And then you got Texas sitting there. That's 5 teams right there. What do you do with those 2 lost teams that all beat each other? And then when you were talking about coaches being honest, Lane came out this week, Lane Kiffin, and he said, there's coaches in the SEC who are hoping they don't make that SEC championship game so they don't end up with a third loss situation. How do you think the SEC in a whole and what Lane's talking about is gonna shape out?
Well, I think it is huge, and I hate that a team. I think there's a chance teams could be punished for playing in that championship game, which is just wrong. And I say 4 teams, and a lot. I was thinking 3 up until BYU lost, because I thought last week if BYU's undefeated, they go play Colorado. I think Colorado has a great chance to beat them. How do you take a team that was undefeated, went undefeated through the regular season, loses their conference championship game, were to knock them all the way out of the playoffs when they were probably number 4 or 5 that week going in? So it's who's stealing bids from who at this point. You hit the nail on the head. The thing is for the SEC right now is it's going to be so wide open. And I think that the Georgia win over Tennessee last week is going to cause some confusion for everybody in the league. Texas A&M, you imagine both of them take care of business this weekend. A&M's at Auburn, Texas got Kentucky at home. If that happens, the winner of that game's in the championship game, right? The winner's in. Now the loser goes into the pool. But, let's say A&M wins that game, we're going to throw Texas into that pool. There's 5 10-2 teams, 6-2 in league, that are sitting there and say, okay, which one of us is in? And then you're the other team saying it's not bad not being in. I think you look at the Big Ten. Let's say Ohio State wins by 3 this week. Indiana and Penn State are sitting at home. saying, hey, we don't even have to play. We're sitting here, and you guys got us locked into a playoff spot. This is really nice. I think it is going to be really interesting. I think when you look at it, it is crazy. And within the SEC, all of those teams played each other. And that's how they knocked each other off, where it didn't happen in the Big Ten. And the SEC's finally gotten to the point where the league, listen, I was head coach in that league for 13 years. When Kirby came out last week, said, I challenge somebody, come show up. And the one thing in that league, come show up and see what it's about. You got to bring your A game. And I always say this in the SEC, it's not about the one game. Heck, anybody in the country can beat anybody in one game. I truly believe that. But when you're in that league, it's not the first week, it's not the second week. It's the third week that all of a sudden nobody's practicing. That's what makes it like the NFL. I mean, you're sitting there and you're saying, holy cow, every week I can't believe this team's better than the last team. Listen, LSU, they might be. Our team's right now jumping up and down, saying, "Hey, I want to go play LSU. I want to go play Florida. They're kind of like low. Hey, South Carolina, they're a 3-loss SEC team. Let's roll them on the schedule right now." Those are teams that aren't even going to be in the discussion.
I mean, Kentucky even. Yeah, Kentucky.
Kentucky and Arkansas. Are you jumping up and down saying, "Hey, I want to go play Arkansas right now, like to secure my playoff bid"? I'm sure would Penn State rather, would they like, hey, let's go. We're going to go finish the season at LSU and Arkansas on our last 2 games and try to hold on to that one loss because they're kind of bottom tier SEC teams. Let's see how that goes.
Hey, so this is the messaging out of the SEC. So I've heard obviously a lot of teams and a lot of people around there that have said that, and it's different down in the Southeastern Conference. But I think
You've seen it at game day, haven't you?
Yes.
I mean, it's a scene.
It's different. It is. I mean, it's just different. Like, obviously, Michigan, Ohio State, I think Penn State all have cults that can keep up.
Yeah.
I think they're like the northern representation of it. But, like, in the South, that's everywhere. That's like... It is everywhere, and it's not just them. It's their parents. It's their parents' parents. It's their parents' parents. So there's just like centuries in some places of tradition that are happening. The families have. I've sat on this part of this ground watching this team for this long, and it's like it is different down there. I can certainly say that, but we can all agree that the Big Ten this year and the SEC are the two, right? I think that's pretty apparent by all. So why don't they, and they could do this because it's the first year, but I guess they don't want to set a precedent and lock themselves into anything in the future, but they could easily say whenever the championships are made that if you made it to the championship of the SEC and the Big Ten, you're an automatically in. They could say that because they want to put an emphasis on championships. That's why they made the top 4 seeds who get a first-round bye champions, conference champions, no matter what you're ranked. They want an emphasis on these conference championships. They wanted that. They said they held that dearly. That's why the Power 5 champion is an automatic bid. They want people caring about it. Well, then why don't you just take that consideration where people are bummed out about making it to the championship and kind of put that to rest and just say, if you make it, you're in. Like that could be something you earn. But I guess the opposite side of that is, where does that stop? Is it always the Big Ten and the SEC? What if the ACC gets really strong and they build up? What if, the Big 12 builds up strong and the Big Ten has a down year? How do you go about doing it? So there's just so much shit that is always like this in college football. It's real. There's just always something, it feels like, in college ball.
And it's always been voted on, and it's always designed. Like, there's a group of, I went, and you go in the meeting, and I did the mock draft deal with ESPN or whatever they do with the College Football Playoff Committee. And we went in the meeting. I left. There were still questions I had. I understand some of the criteria they use, but I don't always agree with all, And, it's just hard to do in college football with the current makeup and the current setup of how it is to get it done. I mean, like the NFL, you could sit there and say, hey, you know what? I mean, the Bengals, they got Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They look really good. Now, I know they haven't won games, but we should put them in the playoffs anyway. Right? It doesn't matter. They're a really good team. I don't care if they win or lose. But in college football, we're going to vote you in anyway. So it doesn't always matter off your record. I mean, it does to a point. But as you guys said, I will say this. The Big Ten, here's the interesting thing the Big Ten has said. With the exception of Indiana, I think the Big Ten's locked. I think Indiana's going to be in no matter what anyway. I think they're going to even unless it's something embarrassing, or they lose to Purdue the final week, which I don't see happening.
Whoa, Coach.
I'll be careful.
Just move.
So I'll be nice.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't even put it in the universe.
I didn't have.
Don't even put it in the universe. Don't even need that in the universe.
That's not happening.
Bingo.
But you go and you say, all right, so 4 Big Ten teams are in. That means there's only spots for 4 at the most, maybe 3, depending on how other things shake out, of SEC teams. Well, as you said, I mean, there's going to be a bunch of irate fan bases that will call for a complete injustice of the college football system when their team gets left out, because they're going to have an argument. Hey, but we beat this team. We beat them head to head. We should be ahead of them. And that's what's going to be really interesting to see, how the committee is ranking these when they have the 2 teams. How do you rank Georgia ahead of Ole Miss when Ole Miss beat them by 3 scores? You can sit there and say, but Georgia has 2 other really quality wins, and their losses look a little bit better. Ole Miss, you don't have great loss. That argument's going to be pretty incredible coming through. And then Tennessee's going to say, hey, we beat Alabama. I know we lost to Georgia, but we beat Alabama. So shouldn't we be ahead of them? How do you get ahead of somebody? It's going to be pretty crazy.
It's like the whole thing is going to be insane. And I think you're right. It's going to be 4 Big Ten teams who get in. I don't think IU's going to have to lose by 40. I think for them to, or they're going to be so mad. But then I tell you what, Coach, if a 5th SEC team gets in, the internet is going to burn it down, because it's going to be the ESPN SEC bias, and all of ESPN decided who was going to get in. I tell you, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse if a 5th SEC team gets in versus a 5th SEC team not getting in.
Yep. Yeah, the SEC SBN chat is loud.
Yep.
I assume you hear it now that you're on TV and obviously from the SEC and all this whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It will be wild. Hey, you know what? There's a big one I'm excited for this weekend. See if the 4 horsemen show up at Yankee Stadium again for Notre Dame Army.
Have you seen? Have you seen the uniforms this weekend?
So sweet.
The uniforms.
I haven't seen them yet.
Oh,
sweet
uniforms for Army this weekend. But go ahead.
I mean, is Bryson Daly one of the toughest guys you've seen, the quarterback at Army? I mean, can he put that team on his shoulder and find a way, to beat Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium? That'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, I hope so.
Then that would wipe Notre Dame out of the playoff discussion, I guess, which would.
Yeah, well, them being a part of the college football playoff discussion since the beginning, because they can only get 5th because they're an independent, is just a whole nother added wrinkle to it. Tonight, what's the biggest surprise coming, you think? What's the big move of tonight's rankings that we should expect on Tuesday? Or is it going to be status quo from last week?
No, I think it'd be interesting to see. I think BYU might hang on, staying in the top, and I think Tennessee's the team that's going to be their fan base, on Old Rocky Top's going to go ballistic. I think they're going to be the big drop team to go to be the team that's out of the SEC tonight. That would be my guess. I think they're the ones that are out.
I'm excited to hear the reaction, just like there is every single Tuesday. Can't wait to watch the boys do their thing tonight. And thank you for the great season that you've had for college football. And excited to finish it alongside you as I'm at home and you're still working. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Dan Mullen, we appreciate you. Great answer there on the spread at the beginning.
That's incredible.
During his last answer, I lost all hearing. My power went out.
Figured something happened, right?
Yeah, I couldn't hear a single thing. Not a single thing. So I come back, ask him, all right, I think I was reading his lips good enough. But there is so much shit that can happen in this college world that can piss off so many people. And
no matter what, though.
Yes.
Everybody's pissed.
No matter what. And, the ESPN ownership of the entire playoff, and I think some have been subbed out to
TNT.
CW.
Yes. Is it CW?
Oh. I think it wasn't CW.
TNT.
Was TNT.
For the playoff games?
Yes.
Yeah, TNT, first round.
Okay, so TNT, good. Hey, they're starting to do a lot of.
That's that is a nice relationship. That is, buddy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is very nice. Good work in that entire thing. So they're getting a couple of the playoff games, but ESPN having all the playoffs, first of all, great investment by ESPN, especially if you are now landlord and you're leasing them out to others. All of a sudden, you are the college football playoff.
Money well
King of the castle.
That is a good thing. But with
sudden death games, win or go home. That's what everybody's trying to get, right? Network-wise.
Yeah, all eyes on all these games, especially with the home field advantage. We need that to go all the way through until the championship of it all. But everybody automatically assumes that ESPN has the want for certain teams that they like to get in there. And it's like, well, who are the teams that ESPN likes? I feel like we get a lot of time on ESPN. We love Indiana. So are you just talking about the people who are thinking about the big markets? And is that how it always is? And is that still how it is now? I don't know. Is that? You tell me. I understand if your feeling is yes because of what happens on some other networks, but we get a lot of time. We get a lot of time on ESPN airwaves talking about, the Colts get talked about every single day, pretty much. And obviously smaller teams, smaller markets for the good of sport, which I think is what the College Football Playoff Committee, who's actually in charge of this, not ESPN, is all they're trying to do. They're just trying to do for the good of college football. What's the best for college football? Because this 12-team playoff is going to have so many eyes on it. They want to have their best shit. That is what the CFP committee wants. We have invested massively in this. We are wanting this to work forever. We are wanting this to grow and be big forever. We want this to be the best. And it's like getting to that discussion of what is the best. There's a lot of different ideas.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if you can be in that room. He talked about going into a room for ESPN and they did a mock thing. Who was that with? Was that with the actual people or there was just them mocking it up? Is there anybody that's allowed in the room when it happens?
And do they record it do they record it at least for their own purposes?
Get in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone's doing the minutes. Someone's keeping track of everything said in there.
There's no way they would let me in there, because of
maybe. You never know. You could ask.
It's on the NDA.
I would like to ask. I would love to ask, but I don't know where it is, actually.
Say you want to audit. If you audit a college class, you sit in the back. Say you want to audit the CFP committee.
There's a lot of talk about audits right now around there. I guess there's never been one.
Oh yeah, that one.
Whatever the case, but I don't think they would want me in there because, boy, I'm not the right person to be in there because all I need to hear is one person say one thing and just be like, so they're disqualified, right? So because of what they said over there, they are disqualified forever. If they think that, they also probably think other things. And I assume that's an incredible group of people. But the amount of jousting, I assume, that takes place in disagreements and I would assume politicking, right?
It's a jury. It's a jury, right? Isn't it 13 members? It's just like a jury trying to figure out if someone's guilty or not.
Yeah, but in a jury, I think you can.
But a lot of teams.
You can differentiate your vote, right? You can still have some not, some.
Well, you can hold out. Yeah, that's why you get a hung jury. Yeah, or you say we got one person that takes the leader and is like, hey, no, we're all voting this way. It's try to persuade them, but there's too many teams. But man, I bet there's so much. I bet it gets heated in there for sure.
Heated, and is it unanimous? Is that what it has to be? Does everybody have to vote yes, or does it just have to be majority? A majority of have to get 7 votes or whatever. Is that what you have to do, or do you have to get everybody on board with everything? Because I assume it would get very loud.
Yeah, probably like the NFL, right? With the owners, because to pass any new thing, what are they? 24 out of the 31 or 32, including the guy who goes to the Packers. So wouldn't it be? I would assume it'd be like 9 of 13 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's 7 of 13.
It's probably 7.
Yeah, 7.
Let's get the majority.
Could you imagine laughing and saying, you haven't been on the right side of any of them? Jeez, this one sucks over here. And then is there a decision like, hey, I agreed with you on that one, so I need you?
What do you call it? Horse trading?
I was definitely happening.
Is that what that's called, AJ? Horse trading?
I don't know. What is horse trading? Is that one of those? Hey, I gave you this, you give me that. Quid pro quo.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm thinking is potentially.
There's also natural biases though, because you have sitting ADs in there who it's like whether you may not say it, but it's like, guess what? If you're the AD of a Big Ten school, you're probably going to bat a little bit
Ward
harder.
Manuel is the leader.
He's the head.
He's the AD at Michigan.
Exactly.
And so if the SEC gets more in, then everybody thinks they should instead of the Big Ten. Everybody's going to be pissed at ESPN for doing this. And it's like, actually, the leader of the committee that voted it in is from the Big Ten, just like the leader was from the ACC.
Yeah.
Whenever the Florida State thing happened in there, it's
SEC's clearly the best conference.
Yeah, without
in the country.
You can't say that.
It's clear and obvious. If you watch football,
no, you can't say that out loud.
That's the best conference in football. If they get the most teams in it, they're supposed to. And when you get to the playoffs, you're never going to be right. You're never going to make every fan base happy, but we all want to watch good games. I don't care about it. Fan, obviously ESPN and whoever, they care about the eyeballs that's going to be on there, but you want best games. You don't want a team to get in there and just get their doors blown off. Yeah. It's like, all right, these 4 teams could have been there.
Want that.
So, it's obviously the best conference. Big Ten is the second best conference, and you go down from there.
Big 12, obviously, right there with the Big Ten.
Well, probably not. They're right there with Mountain West. But Mullen mentioning that about like Penn State.
Watch your mouth, brother.
So, look, I love the Big 12, but could you imagine Penn State actually thinking like, yeah, let's schedule Arkansas for week 13. Like that would never happen. And to our point or his point about like coaches looking at, the spreads and stuff, like Texas didn't cover against Arkansas. And that's like something that I even think about, like, well, Texas isn't that good.
They got one big game in Georgia.
That was the first game against Arkansas. Yeah, like it's hilarious just thinking about how good the SEC actually is. And then, Kentucky, they covered against Georgia. It's crazy.
I like it.
It's nuts.
I was actually shocked to see today. I think Notre Dame and Texas just signed on for a 2-year
home and
home in like 28-29, which I was like, oh, okay, that's
They
good.
both need it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like if they respect strength of schedule,
Notre Dame does for sure.
and Texas is not going to, I guess, going forward in the SEC. But even in the SEC, they're saying they got an easy schedule, which we'll go back and what Dan Mullen's saying is there's no easy schedule in the SEC, which goes right to the Big Ten's point about what are we talking about here? There's an easy schedule in the SEC. We didn't know that was the case. And then it goes, well, they need to play one more conference game like everybody else does. They're scared to do that down the SEC. It's a never-ending one of these. It's a never-ending one of these. I don't like that anybody or any of them are thinking we shouldn't go play in the championship, though. Like
that's chicken shit.
That's what's weird. Yeah, like, hey, we lost at the right time, or we don't have to go and expose ourselves again, not only to injury, but also to possibly being out of this thing. That's weird. Yeah, that's the weird
It's
part.
a real thought.
Yeah.
It's a real thought because if you get your third loss, that 3 is going to be very loud in that room of people that are representing all of college football. That's why, like, the immediate thought is, well, let the champion, if you make it to the championship, that is a bid into the college football playoff. Then you're putting even more of an emphasis on the championships, which is what they've wanted with the construction of the entire thing. And it's like, but you're going to give that.
But then the championship game doesn't have as much meaning if they're both already in.
That's where the bye.
No, yeah, the
bye, brother.
When it goes to 16, like it'll eventually go to 16. I would have no problem if you get automatic if you make it to the Big 12, ACC, SEC, or Big 10 championship. Those 8 are in. Okay, fine. And then the winner of those games get the bye, so the championship game does still have some meaning. Like that's 8 of 16 teams, so then you have 8 at larges or whatever. I think
but 12 is not enough.
12 you can't do that.
Not enough.
But when it goes to 16 or whatever, I think you can potentially.
Yeah, they will change that moving forward.
It's a never-ending one of these.
Which is great for everybody, though. Like it's fun to talk about. It's fun to argue about.
If they want to emphasize strength of schedule, they need Georgia to go to the SEC championship and lose, because then Georgia has the 1 seed, but then they have the hardest strength of schedule, and then they still
have 3.
Make it. Yeah, with 3 losses.
To Mullen's point,
it's a lot.
Let's say Georgia doesn't make it into the college football playoff. They're going to be in, but let's say they don't. Do any of those teams want to play Georgia? No.
Jeez.
No.
Which just gives you.
I want them to be the 12 seed so I can bet on them.
All right, we're back tomorrow on ESPN. I assume it's going to be a good show. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye. Right there, nailed it.
Yep.
Boom. Nailed it.
The assumption was gross, too. I assume it's going to be a good show. I doubt it. Tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hey, Q.
Hughes and JH.
Oh. Head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell on the show.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. Holy shit.
Good assumption.
It was a good assumption. Good for
Great
me.
assumption.
Because in the moment, I wasn't really, thinking about it. I was just literally just assuming what's going to happen tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, you learn more things, and it's like, Kevin O'Connell's coming on? No, exactly. He's not on tomorrow. It's on Thursday.
But we got the new ranking.
Great tease.
I mean,
New
everything we're
ranking.
talking about right now, we're going to have a new iteration of it tomorrow.
We got Jage. Fresh off the Manning cast.
Jage!
Doing
In the trenches, everything DB back to back. I mean,
I love Wednesdays. I completely forgot about
Pat
that.
the Prophet. You just know.
Pat the Prophet, baby.
Not even guess. You know.
Speaking of baseball, hey, big deal last night.
Huge.
A legend and a king was finally crowned. The NL
Correct.
Rookie of the Year, Paul fucking Skenes.
Yeah.
Way to go, Pittsburgh, Paul. Some people are saying this guy is a Pittsburgh prophet.
Yeah,
Now,
sure.
Really?
I don't know how that really works, but or ties together. Yeah, D-Bone
He been
tagged-
predicting things?
Yeah, he's predicting what the batter's going to do, and that's miss the pitch. Oh! That's the Pittsburgh prophet. D-Bone did grant him a new nickname this morning, and I think he felt good about it. I think he thought he was Paul Skenesing it.
Yep.
And instead, that It just got bombed.
Yeah, it got turned down pretty good.
Bombed on. He's not a prophet, but the only thing that is a prophecy is the fact that this guy was sent to Pittsburgh to save baseball for the Three River City. Okay, the Pittsburgh Pirates were a team that has been abysmal for a long time. They have an owner who's a bum. Whenever it comes to being an owner of a professional sports team, he only cares about the bottom line, doesn't care about the team. Whenever you talk about a stooge as an owner of a sports team, that is how you define it. This guy sucks as an owner. Oh, why is that? Does he not care about the team and only care about the money? Yeah, precisely. Oh, yeah, that guy does suck. That is how conversations go about the ownership of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Then Paul Skenes gets there. And for some reason, he is a Pittsburgh Pirate. Don't think the baseball gods have really done the right thing here. Paul Skenes probably should have ended up somewhere else, but he was sent to Pittsburgh to fulfill a prophecy that baseball will once again be a sport of relevance in a city that has been dying for it. Whenever he's on the bump, the place moves and sells out. Whenever he's on the bump, the Pirates win. Whenever he's on the bump, people talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates. And when he's on the bump, people have hope in baseball again in Pittsburgh. Congrats, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Paul.
I told him basically all these things in fewer words whenever he was the guest picker at College Game Day. I was like, hey, man, I wish I was a kid in Pittsburgh with you right now. You're going to do a lot of great for that city because of the attention and the positive, just like the positive vibes around him. He's perfect for the city. Obviously, the mustache and the beard that he has right now is fantastic. He looks so cool, everything he's doing. LSU game, Steelers game, last night for the award show after Cal Ripken kind of sent it over to him. But his mustache is phenomenal. That's a Pittsburgh thing. He has a little moxie. He doesn't talk much, just fucking works. And literally, he said his hobbies are napping. People in Pittsburgh are like, this is our hero. This is our guy. And he lives up to the billing. Ex-military guy, obviously wants to be a future military guy. I don't know how the fuck he was supposed to fit in those planes. He is so big. But you're talking about the future of baseball and somebody that has been good for baseball as a whole. I love Paul Skenes. I'm happy he won this award. I guess he wasn't going to because he didn't play a whole season, it was the conversation.
Well, I mean, he was, in my mind, he was always going to win it. There was a couple people in the office who thought the guy who came in second would win it. They were wrong.
He wasn't favored the whole season is what happened. The odds changed.
Oh, there's one of those guys.
Who was the other?
The guy in the Padres who was hitting walk-offs like every other night on the playoff push.
Oh, and played the entire season is what I saw some people tweeting.
He's a position player, too, so he's playing every single day.
Oh, this guy doesn't just play once every 5 days. This guy's every single night in the ballpark making big-time plays. I can respect that. Probably should be two different awards if you're playing two different sports, seemingly, which pitchers and the rest of the field do out there. But nonetheless, Paul Skenes, I appreciate that guy, and they had a hell of a run. Paul Skenes brought an entire city back to baseball, and that is something.
The entire city, he's going to be the corner piece for years and years to come.
How long?
How many years?
Yeah,
until
what's
he's
this
gone?
mean, Ty? What's this
That's
mean?
5 seasons. So
yeah, 5 seasons exactly. So he'll have a nice little run. And you said like he shouldn't be in Pittsburgh. Like they earned the #1 pick because they fucking suck.
Thank you.
So like they earned Paul Skenes coming to Pittsburgh.
Congratulations.
he should
Now,
be there.
to your point about their ownership, only caring about the bottom line, he got a year of service time this year, which because he came up when he did, typically like for end of the season awards, there was a chance that he wasn't going to get a year of service time. So the Pirates would have retained his rights for an additional year, but because he won Rookie of the Year, he gets a year of service time. So now he is eligible to be a free agent after 2029, at which point one of these big market teams is going to offer him like $550, $600 million. He will not sign with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Has anybody ever gotten offered a percentage of team?
There was Albert Pujols got like something like that with the Angels when he left the Cardinals, but no, it's not. That's not common.
Well,
You said Pete Rose?
There's going to be a new owner.
I heard Pete Rose was offered percentages of teams back in the day when he was a free agent. I don't know if that's true or even allowed to do that, but I definitely heard that.
What if this owner, okay, what's his name? Neil, what's his name? What's this guy's name? The owner?
Of the Pirates?
Talking about Bob Nutting?
Bob Nutting, yeah.
Nutting. This guy.
Yeah.
The guy who hates spending money.
There he is.
Oh,
There he
whoa.
is. Mr. Nutting. I'd known his name in previous times in my life. I've erased it from my memory because don't want to think about him.
Sure.
Especially in a moment where we have the NL Rookie of the Year for another 5 years. But there's a chance that old Nutting gets a chance to experience this baseball over the next 4 or 5 years. And he goes, you know what? This is good for the city of Pittsburgh. These people have hope when they come into the ballpark. Most beautiful ballpark in all of baseball. Isn't that what's voted on?
Yes.
It's I mean,
really?
it has been
By
voted
who?
that
By-
before, and it's
by
always
Pittsburgh
up
people?
there.
No, not Pittsburgh people. MLB people say it's the nicest ballpark.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Oh, and I think it's because the fans aren't really that. They haven't been that rap. You come in, it's like, hey, welcome to Pittsburgh. You guys need us to go run and get you anything? That was a good hit, dude. A good hit. Oh, we beat you. Don't know how you let us beat you. That's a good night of baseball. Now Zambelli fireworks are going off. Okay, we're having a nice little night. Maybe a bobblehead to take home with the family. Walking outside, driving home. The Pirates suck again. Or the Pirates won last night. It was a nice little family night for like $14. So maybe over the next 5 years, he experiences wins here because Paul is going to win, right? We assume.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, next year too, you would assume he's not going to have an innings limit or like a pitch limit. Like, so he'll probably be. I would assume he's either the favorite or like the second favorite to win Cy Young next year.
So he had an innings limit this past year, right? That was the big conversation.
Yeah, I mean, his second start in the majors, he threw a no-hitter through 6 innings against the Cubs, and they took him out because he had 11 strikeouts. And it's like, hey, we don't want to run the risk of this guy throwing 120 pitches. Like, it's not worth him potentially getting hurt or whatever the case may be, because that's what happens when you're a pitcher like him. Like, he strikes out a lot of guys, so he's going to throw a lot of pitches, and we're trying to essentially save himself from himself, I think.
And he's only getting better, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, knowing how to work against MLB hitting and stuff like that, and you assume his stuff will get better. Like, I really don't know if it's like humanly possible for him to be able to throw like a whole bunch harder, just because you don't see guys throwing fucking 107, 110 miles an hour.
Yet.
Human body just can't really do that,
brother.
It's huge.
I mean, he is a wagon.
But that also runs that's how guys get hurt too.
So, but also, and you know more than me, and you obviously know all these things I'm about to say, but just for the sake of this particular conversation, and maybe people haven't heard this dude was a catcher for most of his baseball career. So like growing up, he wasn't the pitcher, he was the catcher. So it wasn't until I think like his high school years, where junior, senior year, where he started pitching. So all the wear and tear on the arm that was written about, I think by Jet Passon, about what they do to these kids in these little league tournaments who are baseball pitchers, and how many reps and how much they throw, and they just basically throw these
They're
kids.
super specialized too from a young age. That's the thing. You start as a pitcher at a young age, and you're working with your pitching guy and specialized. Do a 45,000 hour warm up, cool down before every throwing session. Skenes was in the trenches. Like, catcher's the toughest position to play physically by far on the baseball field.
But it's not 1,000
No.
pitches, it's just like the throwback, which is certainly something. You're playing baseball and throwing a ball.
But nowhere near
what the pitcher's arms are going
and
through,
he told us too, like, I asked him when he was here, like, he was like, I was a late developer, like, because some of these kids, like, that'll be the thing, is you see these high schoolers who get drafted and they're throwing like 95 to 97 in high school, and then those guys almost always within like the first 3-5 years of their career have to have Tommy John, because it's just like your body just can't take that on at that age. But he said, like, no, I really kind of like developed once I got to LSU. Like, I wasn't throwing mid 90s in high school. Like, I kind of grew into my body first and then started doing it, so he doesn't have like the years of wear and tear, like you said.
God, good on you, Paul.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, man. Talk baseball.
Yeah.
Good baseball.
They could be good. They really could be good if they just would spend like a little bit of money and go out and get like a couple extra pieces. Like, they could easily win the NL.
What's their payroll like,
year.
Ty? Compared.
I have no idea, but it's like they make a shitload of money. Like, because they don't ever spend any money. Like, they could. And their best player, 2 of their best players are, they're not making anywhere. They're not making 20th of what they should be making. So, like, they could, if they just spent a little bit of money, they could be competitive.
Mark Cuban said, would you take this job if you made $200 million a year, but you had to go stand downtown every day, and people walk by and just said you sucked? That was it, and then you got to go home
every day.
But you made $200 million.
Yeah.
Would you take that job?
Yep.
Tax free.
Yeah, that's.
Either way.
I think that's.
I'll do it.
I think that's
I'll
what
do
Mark
it.
Cuban was saying basically about the ownership. And I don't know if it was $200 million or if it was $20 million or $100 million. I forget what it was, but it was a huge fucking number. And it's like the guy's hated by all of Pittsburgh. He doesn't even have a ski resort anymore, Seven Springs. Thank God. I assume that's only gotten better since that entire thing. But he's raking it in, and he's got an opportunity with these rookie contracts. It's like quarterback on a rookie contract, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He's got a chance with Jared Jones too, the other hundo
That's
boy.
the other guy I was talking about. Yeah.
Golly, come on, Buckeyes. Why not Bob.
A lot of good guys available this offseason, too.
They're going to get Walker Buehler, too. That'd be a great rotation.
Juan Soto, they're going to get.
Yeah.
Soto's going to Boston.
Are you guys going to lose him? He's on tour.
Juan Soto, yeah, he's going everywhere but the Yankees.
No, he met with the Steinbrenners yesterday, and one thing the Yankees typically don't do is let stars who have worn pinstripes, they don't let those guys get away. So, like, Steve Cohen can come in and give an extra $50 million. Like, Soto knows. Okay, he knows he's going to be a Yankee because he wants to be in Monument Park.
$700 million? $650 million?
They're saying, yeah, $600 to $650 million. So the Yankees are either going to match that or get incredibly close to that. Like they know, because if the Yankees lose Juan Soto, and you look at their team from like 2 years ago, they're like an 80-win team. Like he seriously him and Aaron Judge were the only reason they made it to the World Series last year.
Yeah, well, whatever they don't do, what happens? It means Yankees stink.
There's a good chance if they don't spend an additional like $500 million on some other guys, yeah, there's a chance they might stink next year.
Oh, no. I don't want that to happen.
Soto's visiting the Dodgers.
Oh, they got the money.
Yeah.
They will pay. Remember, you guys were supposed to have a couple of the guys, and they ended up on the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know.
Did that work out for them or no?
Let me check. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They won.
The contract they gave Shohei is bullshit. You shouldn't be able to do that. Okay, hey, why don't you just defer all the money into 20 years so it's basically like you get the fucking best player in baseball for nothing? Like, what are we fucking doing?
Well said, Ty.
Unbelievable.
Well said.
Hey, you can pay Shohei $1 next year. Just give him $800 million in 2075. Okay, so really, it's like you're not spending any money on the guy. And now there's another fucking superstar, phenom Japanese pitcher who, guess what? He wants to play for the Dodgers. He wants to go play in L.A. You know what do you know?
Juan Soto better not want to play in
my
LA.
God.
They're saying that's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So that's kind of just the Dodgers just fucking flexing nuts.
They might show him a 2080 contract.
We
Juan
could.
Soto
Joe
did
Shane
not
saying
turn
that?
down.
Scott Boras ain't playing those games. Said,
Yeah.
suck my dick. You're paying this guy $60 million next year and every year for the next 10 years.
Scott Boras is the agent, obviously. He's a multi-billion-dollar negotiator. What a dog. Baseball is wild. Joining us now, another superstar in L.A. Is Juan Soto going to be joining him?
Yeah, perhaps.
We have no idea. Rookie out of the University of Georgia. He's a two-time national champion, an absolute dog. Wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers, had 2 catches for 55 yards on the game-winning drive on Sunday Night Football. Ladies and gentlemen, wide receiver, Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
How you doing, Lad?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm fantastic, man. How are you doing? I'll tell you what. Your helmet, the way it sits on your head, and your smile and happiness, you look like a high schooler just got like, you are a phenomenally joyful-looking human being. You need to know that. We appreciate you bringing that into the world, lad. Have you always been that way? Joyful, happy, like that big catch in the fourth quarter. You didn't get up and like spike. You were like just smiling, happy, enjoying the hell out of yourself. Is that your attitude, personality?
I try to be when things are going good. When things are going bad, it's not so much. But
of course,
you make a play for sure.
How's Jim Harbaugh as a head coach? You come from Kirby Smart, obviously at Georgia, to Jim Harbaugh, 2 phenomenal college football coaches, 2 national champion college football coaches. What has it been like with the transition, and are there similarities that maybe we wouldn't think of?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest similarity for me is like they're both winners, and I always say that. Like, it looks different between the two, but they both get it done. Like Coach Harbaugh is a great leader. Whether it's singing us a song or giving us some work boots for playing good or something like that. So he just keeps it fun, but he brings us all together and he's got us connected and playing well.
What was Coach Smart like to play for? Obviously, your time at Georgia was very fruitful, multiple-time national champion. It was fun to watch your team do their thing. What was that culture like? What was Coach Smart like?
Oh yeah, he was awesome, but he was demanding. He wanted things done a certain way, and you do that. So I have nothing but respect for, Coach Smart, and, he took a chance on me coming out of high school, so definitely want to be where I am, right now without him.
I feel like college ball, we're kind of being shaped into who we are as humans. Do you feel like Georgia helped you do that, and how has it prepared you for Los Angeles, you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm going against, first-rounders day in and day out in practice. Like, at Georgia, our practices were harder than the games. Like, we're gonna get after it. There's some weeks, we're shells Monday, full pads Tuesday, Wednesday, shells. Like we're getting after it. As a receiver, you don't like that all the time, but no, we won, so you couldn't really complain about it too much.
Go ahead, AJ.
What's Coach Harbaugh like on game day? We talk about players like empowering their players, and we see all the mic'd up stuff and just how, like you mentioned, like joyful. You see that dude, like he just is happy. You guys make plays, and he seems very, very happy for you. Like, what does that do for you guys as a team?
Oh yeah, I mean, him just encouraging you and like giving us confidence. Like he's coming up in the locker room like, hey, let's go be big, go make a play. You see the stuff he does with Justin before the game, and then he's out there catching balls, getting pissed off when he drops one. So that energy just translates to everybody and ripples down to the whole team.
How's the NFL defense of where you said you take on first rounders at Georgia? You're doing full pads every day, seemingly with Coach Smart. How much are defenses differing in the NFL versus in the SEC? And is that something you have to understand in the offense that you guys are running right now?
Yeah, I mean, as far as players go, it's I feel like you just take the best player from every team and then combine it and make one team. So it's just there's nobody that's not good in the NFL. You're playing against the top talent, and then they give me a lot of freedom in this offense. On some routes like choice routes or up the seam, I'm take the mid on too high or up the alley. So they give me some freedom in some things, and that instills confidence in me. That they believe in me and let me do that.
Yeah, but they're only doing that because you know what the fuck they're doing. That is, if you're going to the wrong.
Yeah, I think that probably helps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your relationship with Herbert, because that obviously has to be good if you're doing choice routes already as a rookie. What has it been like becoming teammates and friends, I assume, with Justin Herbert?
Yeah, it's been great. I always say, you just run fast and get open. Justin's going to get you the ball. So that's what we always say as receivers, you don't see this all the time, so just get open, and he's going to give you an opportunity to make a play. So just try to get on the same page with him, throughout OTAs, training camp, watching film after the games, as whole offense and everything. Just figuring out what he wants, because he's done it at the high level. I mean, I'm just starting, so just want to be on the same page with him.
You ever wear your rings around town? Those national championship rings? You ever? No,
those are back in Chatsworth at my parents' house, so I don't have them out here.
Hey, well earned. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats on those. Hell yeah. AP Tone has a question for you, lad.
Yeah, lad. Speaking of your teammate from there, I'm not sure because a lot of people don't know. Brock Bowers is on pace to set the record for most receptions as a rookie, not even tight end, just rookie in general, breaking Puka's record from last year. Is it crazy to think about that? Or did you know, hey, Brock's gonna do this when he gets to the NFL?
Yeah, not really. It's not crazy because some of the stuff you just see in practice and then in the games, you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's, to me, no surprise. But yeah, he's getting targets, getting racks, scoring touchdowns. You don't see a tight end doing that all the time. So he's a freak athlete.
Yeah, dancing. Saw him dancing.
Yeah.
It was.
I saw that.
Yeah, saw him dance. Let's talk about another teammate of yours, shall we? Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, lad. In the wide receiver room, you and Quentin Johnson obviously had a couple battles. Actually, one of them in SoFi for that national championship. Do you ever tell him, hey, was it fun losing by 60 points when you were at TCU and I scored 2 touchdowns against you? Or what was that kind of first interaction like between you two?
Oh, yeah, any chance I get.
Smart.
Any chance I get. Smart. Yeah, if it ever comes up, talking about college, I'm like, oh yeah, Q, don't say anything. Or DD, Darius Davis. So I got 2 of them I can talk to. So it's all fun. I don't think they like it. It's not fun for them, but I love it.
Have you got a chance to look back on that Georgia team? Have you guys? No, you're in the middle of it all, and you're in the NFL and everything like that. You guys were dominant, brother. So good. That was you guys were a fun team to watch. I hope you guys take that in every once in a while, at least on a group text.
Oh yeah, no doubt. There's still group chat with all the guys. Just talking about it. So, and then some guys are still playing. I'm in, talking to them. So I try to watch them as much as I can. We have meetings with a time difference, most of the time right during their games. But as soon as we walk out, I'm trying to stay locked in and see what they're doing.
Huge win against Tennessee this past weekend. Athens was awesome. I got a chance to be down there. What an electrifying atmosphere. That was a must-win, lad. Must-win down
there. For sure.
So
yeah, I feel like they didn't win that one. There was no shot getting in. So
yeah, they
stepped up.
Which they were not happy about either. They were like, come play our schedule and then talk about the win-losses, which is a whole nother thing that we've beat to death today. That campus, so the stadium is kind of down in a hill, right? And then you guys got university here, university. Where? I'm trying to figure out where the hell everything was. So is that stadium on campus or not on? It's in between 2 campuses? Can you explain that for me a little bit?
I guess it's right there on campus, I guess.
You're like,
it's
class. What are we talking about?
No. I graduated. I got.
Hey, congratulations, lad. Yeah. What was the major?
Finance.
Okay. Oh shit! Nice. You're gonna be a billionaire.
That's the plan. I'll take it.
Fourth
I heard y'all talking about baseball, so if we can get some of that baseball money.
Can you hit?
Baseball money.
No, probably not anymore.
Can you throw?
Really.
Can we throw 102,
I can throw.
105?
I can throw. No, I can't throw 102, but I can throw.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. You have 2 receptions for 55 yards on game-winning drives like every single week. I think that money's going to go absolutely bananas. On that point, D-Butt has a question for you, lad.
Yeah, to have those big-time catches, those big-time moments. Obviously, the quarterback got to trust you. You talked about your teammate, Brock Bowers, and how dynamic he's been as a rookie. What's kind of been your study habits? So what have you found that worked for you up until this point in your obviously young NFL career?
Yeah, my biggest thing is like when we get the game plan, like I want to know like exactly what I'm doing. Like I want to hear the formation and be like, okay, I know what play that is. I don't want to be, thinking about what route I have when I line up. So just being dialed in on that, and then it's all about watching their DBs, seeing what release I'm going to hit on this DB, that DB, how they play at the top of the route, how they play the ball, if they're more grabby or what. So that's kind of the biggest things for me is locking in on the game plan first and foremost, knowing exactly what I'm going to do, and then, watching and studying DBs.
Man, that film becomes the weapon for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch your finance brain break that entire thing down. I assume there was one of these. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, lad, you mentioned obviously Georgia, you're going against first-round picks all the time, but have you had a welcome to the NFL moment yet, whether it's like getting just fucking blasted by a guy or some guy who you don't really know and be like, oh shit, this guy is really good. Like, have you had any of those moments yet? Obviously, you guys have been super successful so far this year.
I don't know if there's like a specific one. I mean, maybe first game, I think it was like my first catch. I think it was like a little shallow route, and I caught it, and he hit me within like literally right when I caught it. I was okay, yeah, they closed a little bit faster.
Okay, yeah. Everybody's everywhere all the time. Got it. Yeah, but you've figured it out, lad. You have seemingly figured it out. How about around the facility? Derwin James just roaming around. Yep. Jim Harbaugh's shirtless in the weight room. Justin Herbert's doing whatever. How is he behind closed doors, Justin Herbert? I assume he's hilarious because the way he acts with the media. But is there any behind-the-scenes moments or conversations that make you go, holy shit, I'm in the NFL right now? I'm one of the guys.
I mean, I guess if you listen and just like hear some of those guys talk, like I feel like when K-Mac got up and talked to us, I can't remember if it was like training camp or OTAs, and I was like, dang, me and him we're on the same team. We're playing the same sport right now.
Hell yeah.
So just stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, and then Justin, he's an awesome dude. So you can count on him, talk to him, whatever you need. But that switch flips, and he turns into ultimate competitor mode.
Lad, you're a dog, buddy. Congratulations on all the success. Good luck the rest of the way here for the Chargers, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chit-chat.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it. Go Dogs.
Hey, hold on. Question. I've been told by older dogs and by the internet, what's that coming down the track? Then I think there is an entire generation, who's that coming down the track? And then if I say, who's that coming down the track, I have a bunch of people telling me I don't know ball, and I need to be off college game day because it's what's that coming? Do you know the answer to what that is? And is there a controversy?
So growing up, I was not a Georgia fan, so that was not something I grew up saying. But I always assumed, I don't want people to be mad at me, but I assumed it was who's that coming down the track. Okay. But then it's what I don't know. So I don't think it's that big of a difference.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. Yeah. Two-time national champion for the Georgia Bulldogs. Damn good dog. Lad McConkey, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Is it generational? Is it like an age thing? Like older people think one thing?
I think whenever it was potentially started, I tried to look into it because the amount of like noise that it gets like thrown at me, like it's a lot like Jesus fucking Christ. Because like literally the person that told me, he's like, they'll go with you. You gotta call the dogs. They're gonna love it. Thank you for doing it. The whole thing whenever they're teaching it to me. And this is one of the nicest people that was from Georgia to me. Because if you do recall, David Pollock was on the program. He's like greatest Georgia Bulldog of all time, defensive side. And then I joined program alongside Pollock. And then people, you made the decision. I make a decision. He's no longer a part of game day. So I get like these people fucking hate me, for this entire thing because I am seemingly taking the place of a damn good dog who I am a massive fan of. Actually was invited to go to his son's high school football game last Friday. Wasn't able to do it because of a schedule commitment and where it was, but was planning on going and watching and supporting the entire thing. It's like that whole thing. So I had a Georgia Bulldog fan that was like willing to talk to me, which was cool. That was very nice of them. And I'm like, what's the shit? What's the shit? And they start saying it. And it's a long one, that's a pretty long one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very.
And as soon as I heard drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan, in my head I was like, this is the greatest. Mm-hmm. This is the greatest one. You guys got the greatest one. This is entire. So I do it first time. And I think I say what's or who's. I forget which one it was. And then immediately there was like, you fucking. and I thought, okay, I must have got it wrong. So the next time I do it,
switch it.
The other one, because brain actually okay. If for the whole memory thing, brain actually okay. So if somebody tells me something, it's like duly noted for the next time. I am going to try to do that. So I do the next one, and then boom, bang, pow, and it's like
other side.
I think you guys got a little shit going. I don't know if you guys know, but I think there is a little. Is it what's or who's? And then I Google it, which has not been accurate. AI has not been accurate on things, and it said like when it was founded, it was originally founded as a what's because it's a mean machine, which is a thing coming down the track, so it's a what. But then the who's became what it's like. So what's the right answer?
Wow,
both play.
Grok didn't know.
Grok gave me both answers, I think.
Come on, Grok.
I'll tell you what, I like where we're headed with these things, having all the answers, but they got to be right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time.
Need you to be right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if I'm going to be acting as if you're going to be right every time, I'm going to need you to be right every time. And then they're going to fire back just like a human would. Well, actually, the thing about your question was you didn't give me a proper amount of
specific.
Never ending. Those college chants, though, that's the best one that Georgia won.
For sure. LSU, not really a chant, though.
It's quick.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's like the barking.
Yeah, exactly.
It certainly gets your attention on the entire thing.
Yeah, how did those gain traction, like initially?
I don't know. Like that one, I know once again, there's a generation of LSU Tigers fans that are not happy that is the thing.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
But I would just like to let them know that I've done a focus group study research project.
Sure.
And it is the thing.
Big time.
It is a Pavlov's dogs effect, actually. If you say, hey, oh, they'll just immediately right back. So I hate to break it to you. I think it's a thing.
It ain't going anywhere.
It's not leaving. It is not leaving.
Just like the Tiger.
I think it's a thing. Now, Governor Jaflandry with that Tiger, I think no longer has an opportunity to be at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Damn.
LSU lost another one. Weren't supposed to.
Nope.
Lost another one in Florida.
Whew.
Get that Tiger fucking back into the sanctuary. Those people are awesome. I hope they get a winner again.
Yeah, me too.
I hope the people of Louisiana get a winner again, like a full-on.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what it was like when Joey Burrow was done, when they were just beating the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And it was like, I couldn't even imagine because the way Saban and the people that I got to meet at the dinner the night before down there, the way they talk about those fans, it's like, yeah, they love them Tigers. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's early.
They get after it.
Not just on game day. I mean, they're prepping for game day, I guess, like Thursday. This thing starts.
And they know how to do it. Like, they have a great time. Like, it's fun being on those college campuses, like, especially in the South. Like, they are all going towards one goal. Like, hey, we are here to support our team, and we're going to have a great time while we do it.
But don't abuse that now, because you start losing. We will all still rally together. Mm-hmm. But it'll be about you.
That one guy.
Kind of starting a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been seeing
it's there.
Buyout numbers. I've been seeing it pop up in my algo.
Mm-hmm. I would never in a million years want to be a college football head coach.
Jeez.
Never.
Even if you win it all, you got to rebuild somehow and do it again. Like,
and if
you got to continue to bring in the money, you got to continue to bring in the new people every year. Like, there's not a whole lot, I don't know. And you have to develop at the same time.
It is the ultimate what have you done for me lately business. Now, I guess there's a couple places where it's not. Like, you think about Mac Brown. Mac Brown did a lot for the UNC, then he did a lot for Texas. Now he's back at UNC. In the last few years, I think you would say has been great. They've kind of given him some leniency. Mm-hmm. Feels like North Carolina has given him some leniency. There are some of those places. James Franklin, he's had a job for a very long time without really winning the highest of high levels. But there is a reality They're like, yeah, the only games he loses to are like the wagons, so he's a damn good coach. We're just going to let him go. So there are some places I think that kind of.
I think Dabo.
It's
been a few years.
Yeah, but he win.
I mean, he had a
won,
run. They make.
But I'm saying they're calling for him too. Like, you don't have any. You're like a punter or a kicker, but you're getting paid a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And you have obviously all the say, and you are the reason. You have more say in that than any other place in football. The head coach has. The recruiting, it's your people. The deals now, it's going to be your deals. The coaches that are running the things, your hires. It's your shit. So it's obviously an incredible opportunity and a hell of an honor. But if you stink, it's also all
on you.
All on you. And the buyouts are obviously spectacular.
Ridiculous.
I mean, you become a professional golfer if you suck bad enough, but you're good at one point to get a big deal. But it's like those fans expect it every year. I mean, over there, Columbus, I couldn't even.
Dabo, I just looked. Dabo had 12 straight years of 10-plus wins, 4 national championship appearances, 2 national championships, and then the last 2 years have not been. I mean, he's 8-2 right now, but they're like,
that's crazy.
That's college ball. Ryan Day.
Yeah.
If you were to pull up his record,
He's lost like 4 games.
it is. He loses this weekend.
Place is going to burn.
So you're telling me
They'll fire him on the spot.
You're telling me Ohio State lost to Oregon and Indiana? That's who we're losing to now?
Not a Mount Water.
I might shoot him.
That's what people in Ohio will say.
Oh, yeah.
They'll have no idea that Oregon is, hey, everything Ohio State has, Oregon has, and also potentially a little bit more with a phone call. Hey, Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
I think.
Phil Knight.
I think there is a chance.
Can't
Now-
beat Indiana by like 7 either. Like they need to win by 3 touchdowns. Otherwise, it's gonna be like we fucking beat Indiana by a field goal.
Yeah, cover.
Are you fucking
Right.
kidding
This
me?
is not the Indiana we are used to.
Yeah, but Ohio
They
people
don't
don't.
know
Hey,
that.
I don't.
I know. Believe me, I'm all for it. Well, it's the highs and lows. I guess the not risk reward, but the expectations are what you want. But man, it's tough being in it. I think.
AJ for the last few weeks has been trying to say, like, Indiana's not sneaking up on anybody now. People know Indiana's good now because he's been trying to set the tone for this particular week. That is what he's been trying to do. But I assume, I'm not there, you are. I will be on Friday. I can't wait to get over there. I assume that the people of Ohio State don't want to hear it about how good Indiana has become.
When was the last time Indiana beat IU? Or, Indiana beat Ohio State?
Never. Remember the Lee Corso story?
They fucking never beat them before. Like, they better win by fucking 4 touchdowns.
I didn't know. Never. I guess I did know.
Ohio State fans.
They beat him in 88.
Okay, 1988. 37 years ago.
Good year.
Not as good as 1987.
Or 86.
Or 85.
85 kind of
banger.
kind of crop.
88 was a great year.
88 created a lot of great people. 87 came through though. Just want to let everybody know that.
86 pretty good.
86 wasn't bad. Good. 86 wasn't bad. What was 85?
Just a good year.
The Bears.
Just a good
Bears won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah.
Chicago people loved 85. Thank God North Left Canada created something in 1985. God, how lucky are we? And that's what Ohio State fans should think if they get any win against Indiana this weekend. Because this Indiana team's good. Boy. Man, it was close against Northwestern for a little bit, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, Northwestern
like a quarter or
scored
whatever.
first. Yeah.
Like a quarter.
Yeah.
I think it was like a quarter.
Ohio State has kind of started slow all year. It happened against Penn State as well.
Yeah, we're there, pick 6.
Pick 6, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing. Indiana.
So what if IU keeps it, like, say it's like tied at half, and then they lose by 3 touchdowns?
I think they're good then.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think if IU keeps it close in the first half, I think they're good.
I agree.
Yeah, but what if Indiana wins?
What if?
I mean, it's hard to imagine them dropping 8 spots.
Well, I wonder where they'll be ranked tonight.
Yeah.
Because they come off a bye, so they ain't doing anything.
Didn't Dan Mullen had them ranked above Ohio State, right?
He had them at
in
2.
his rankings.
He said there's been a lot of teams that have been lucky through their schedule, and nobody's really talking about it. He's like, Texas, Penn State. Then he really want to dive in. How about this? And then he also said that there's no easy schedule in the SEC, but he put Texas in there because Texas is in their first year in the SEC. So then, there's just so much shit, AJ. It's a never-ending circle of what about, with different accents. You have a Southern accent saying it, and then you got fucking Ohio saying it, and then literally, it just never ends. About what?
Nobody has been talking about that Texas schedule though, and Arkansas played them close.
I saw someone talking about, I can't remember who it was, yesterday that said, hey, if Texas loses A&M, there's a good chance they're out of the playoffs.
Yep, I think so too.
Because of that schedule.
Texas A&M too. Mike Elko had I don't think it's a Freudian.
Yeah, Freudian slip.
Freudian slip, giving an answer about not thinking this game against Auburn at Auburn is a trap game, or they're looking over it because Texas, who's their massive rivalry, and Texas doesn't like Texas A&M either. There's a lot of things like in Texas, like Howdy, I think is a Texas A&M thing. You say it to Texas folks, they get like shoot pissed. Everybody knows like Texas, Oklahoma is anything, but I think Texas A&M, if you were to look back in time, massive rivalry in the state of Texas or whatever. So that being worth something, like very, very important in this first year in the SEC at the last game of the season, it's a natural question to ask Mike Elko, like, are you overlooking Auburn this weekend? Because that's coming to Texas A&M. And he gave this like 35-second answer about like where the team is, what we got to focus on, where we want to go. And then he said, so it's not that hard to make sure we have like a sole focus on Texas. I mean, literally. And it was like, oh no, I hope that's not the case. Because that Mike Elko story down in Texas A&M is awesome too. Everybody's talking about Kurt Cignetti, obviously in Indiana first year doing what he's doing. Certainly amazing. Texas A&M though, after that Jimbo Fisher 70, 50, whatever it was.
Huge buyout.
Million buyout and everything they got going in there. Then opening week, we're down there pretty much. They lose to Notre Dame. So the eyes of the world were on Texas A&M, Miko, very early in the development of his program. And then they lose, and then all of a sudden it's like, they're dead, they gotta be. And it's like, nah, they figure it out.
Claw back.
They play good football, and they're all the way back in it. It's college football is awesome. I'm excited for it.
While we're on it, I made a mistake. That Army uniform is for the Navy game. It's not for this weekend.
Oh
no.
Well, they got no shot then.
Yeah, Notre Dame also has sick jerseys for this weekend.
Oh, no.
What are they?
They're like
Clover series or something?
Yeah, they're like light blue or not light blue,
like
but
a grayish blue?
Yeah, grayish blue. There it is. And they have like very gold, shiny numbers.
Oh, no.
It's sweet.
I thought that was going to be because this is a big one for Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
This is a big one for Notre Dame. Obviously, massive for Army, too.
Got to win.
I mean,
There'll be a lot of
big
people from West Point going there.
Where's the game?
Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a bomber.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Daly.
Stiff arm.
See ya.
Oh my God.
Give me that.
It's bad.
So why can a running back or a quarterback put hands to the face, but if a defender can't?
What are you talking about?
You just can't grab it.
You can stiff arm. Can I open hand punch you in the face mask to take you down?
Well, if you get an interception or
Not a
fumble.
quarterback.
Barnett got a flag yesterday on that field goal.
Wait until you see this Ram truck tomorrow. We got a Ram truck tomorrow. Offensive player lowering helmet just straight down like this.
Yeah.
Right through somebody's. No call, so it's fair. Refs didn't call it.
Bullshit.
So it's fair. What?
Player safety.
Yeah.
Go both ways.
Didn't get called.
Oh, you defenders.
Gotta go both ways. I mean, I do hate seeing these fines coming out for these running backs. Like, a week, 2 weeks later, getting fined $20,000 for running a dude over. But
Doesn't it feel like the NFL is kind of sorry, Tone. Doesn't it feel like the NFL is kind of less finey this year?
I don't know.
I thought so.
Are they?
I think so.
I feel like I've seen Jordy Nelson rescind a couple fines.
I saw his name on it. I was like, Jordy's doing that?
Yeah, I feel like it's less finey this year. I might be wrong, but it feels like in years past there's always like a point of emphasis, and then those fines we hear about each week. It feels like we don't hear about that many fines.
I think they release them on Saturday night and no one sees them.
That's so smart.
Because Brian Branch has $1 billion in fines.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe
we are. Trey Lance got fined. Trey Lance got fined for, I think, a tackle or lowering his head on a run. Like, there are a lot of people are getting fined, I think.
Okay.
A week ago, Jordy Nelson rescinded a fine on Roquan for the injury to Chris Blackman.
The hip drop?
Yeah.
Upon appeal, NFL hearing officer Jordy Nelson, who also operates as an actual rancher, has rescinded the $16,883 fine levied against Ravens linebacker Roquan Smith.
Ugh.
The unnecessary roughness, dislocating his ankle.
That tweet was from 1 week ago, and that injury was what? 4 weeks ago. So yeah, it takes
Court of Appeals.
Yeah,
Long
exactly.
appeal process.
Yeah, so Tom Pelissero will tweet them all out on Saturday night. Just keep your eyes on that.
Okay.
Everyone's all
Not a
boozed up.
bad
No
play.
clue what's going on.
So it used to be what? Friday news dumps used to be a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Now with the way the internet works, it's like you got to find a dead time on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Friday news is actually good.
Not
like
bad.
there's a good. You learn a lot of shit. People are on their phones after work, heading into the weekend, spending a Friday night. It's like when are the most amount of people kind of checked out? Saturday night. Let's fuck.
11:45 Saturday
SEC
night.
banger on.
Absolutely. What score that game? Wait until this game gets third, fourth quarter. Things get tight. If it starts to be a blowout, though, need to drop it second quarter in this entire thing.
They just found one, Tom, Saturday at 4:05 p.m., which is right in the middle of college football.
Not a bad play there. 4 or 5, though, still early. We should have caught that. But it is hard whenever you got 4 games happening at the same time.
I just went and looked. Pelissero had 3 on Saturday, like a machine gun. I don't know how we're missing these, but it's still happening.
Atta baby, Tom. We appreciate it,
Smart
Tom.
man, Arrow.
And he'll say, I get them whenever I get them.
Yeah, the uploads at the right
released
time.
him during the middle of college football.
Yeah.
Put out now.
Lad looks like just a happy young
Dude,
boy.
he's so
doesn't he?
happy.
Happy
He
young boy.
does good.
Filthy.
So good.
So good. Like gets open, smart. Young guys usually it's a it takes a while to figure out NFL coverages, adjustments. Like you already run the option route. He's obviously playing at Georgia. It's going to prepare him for me. He's good.
Him running option routes as a rookie is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because him and Herbert have to see the defense the exact same. That's basically what that means. And he's got a finance brain. He's wearing khakis down there. Georgia.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of khakis.
Boat shoes.
A lot of. They got the what are the sunglasses?
Yeah,
Crokies.
I wanted to ask if
Crokies,
him
yeah.
and Stetson were still raising hell.
Out there in Athens.
Yeah, Scott's
No,
still blue, brother.
Because Stetson is he back at the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah. Him and them in LA running around together.
Stetson took a year off. Said, I need a break. Did you see what the fuck I just did in Athens? I need a break. And he came back. We're happy for him.
Absolutely.
Way to go, Stetson. That's a damn good dog there.
Damn good dog.
That is a damn good dog. All right. Let's take a break. On the other side, we got to cover everything that has happened that we haven't chatted about.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to talk about what Kirby Smart's doing down there in Georgia. Send a punter up there.
Oh, yeah.
How awesome is that?
That was
Sick.
How about the entrance? Stone Cold Steve
good
Austin
humor.
music?
Good humor.
Good Aussie accent.
Great accent.
Dog out there. And then there's a bunch of shit happening. Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State are in the middle of a run. Charlotte football has made a change.
Oh,
Yeah.
Biff.
I don't love that.
Yeah, I didn't love what I saw from them either. After the changes made.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's
We'll
stupid.
talk about it and more on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Like our friends at Dude Wipes. Take 5.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh?
My name is Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome.
Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This will round sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I got to poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look high. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy. Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song. Oh, oh yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Who's up? What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make this practice game, baby. It's gotta last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday. Sack of shit.
I'm so fired up to be here.
Yeah.
I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit.
shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh, my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the back. Foxy boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the mega cast. Let's go. Hey, let's have a night.
Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Ron, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players. Yeah. But you got to coach the coaches, too.
Did you smile there, too? Were you smiling?
I smile. I do that every now and then.
The rat poison, smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter perfection. Big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? And I love that toad that takes those mushrooms and eats them. With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give it to Georgia Bulldogs. Go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach.
All right, here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down the field. We went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the sleep, and then I'm gonna hop over the sleep range. Good, man. You are looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Oh, that's embedded with his second touchdown in the first half. Pick.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed touchdown. Brock Bowers, touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
This is just a good old back-home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get that.
Get him on camera.
That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes.
Are you a firefighter?
Good for you, bro. Thanks for your service. First down, Horned Frogs on a 2nd and 3. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else was down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin Johnson at receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run, huh? The boys crushed it. Appreciate you.
TCU sucks.
You're so mean all the time.
What?
That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home. I had no idea what to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Shock that.
Yeah,
Shock.
I can't make it.
Steve Smith Sr.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach
fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever it take. Now seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions. Mighty Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. And today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life? Yes. All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely jacked.
Lighting's great.
Welcome to Dublin, Ireland on this Feel Good Friday, August 23rd, 2024. We are live from J.R. Mahin's.
Drinks are on Pat McAfee tonight, fella. Let's go!
Hop, 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 hop. The fact that anybody knows we exist in Ireland, we are so incredibly thankful. So to all of you, we say, Gotcha!
I just want Kirk to know I got 1,000 phone calls when we got in the playoffs. He didn't have anything to do with them not getting in the playoffs, and I didn't either. But we both got hammered.
Some of us did get hammered last night. We have real football happening today for the first time in months. This is a beautiful time in a wonderful town. It's fight night, baby! Skenes is his name.
We gotta go for Georgia Tech. I gotta go. I would be that fuck in the country if I didn't pick Georgia Tech.
44 yards away to do it. He got it! And the Yellow Jackets did it!
Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months, all like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. I said, are we going to make this deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone. What? Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Boom. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is, all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up and take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It's by noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there. Nice. He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old...
Yeah.
Make sure he's alive. Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook? Oh, that's awesome. I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team, with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, oh. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yes, you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Yeah, opens up the running game, too.
I'm telling you, it was... Randy, come on, man. I'm trying to...
So look at this! Body slam! Sammy save! Wayman used to kick himself in the face! Are you kidding me? Now he's body slamming Sammy save!
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me again.
It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down out here.
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a
naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Sports Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is fantastic. That's A.J. Hawk. He's been a champion at college and at the professional level of football. The Talks at Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP tones here. You look cool, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You look really cool.
Thank you.
What are those types of tones called? Earthy tones?
Yep.
Yeah. That is an earthy.
I like to stick to
Almost like a pastel, even.
Yeah, it is a little pastel.
A cowboy, if you will.
Nice cowboy hat on there, too. It goes very well. You look fantastic. 9-year NFL vet. Darius J. Butler's here looking very cool.
And maybe Mark.
Very cool. Are those earthy in there, too?
Those ones
That's like Cookie Monster ice cream.
It is.
Cookie Monster Ice
Mint chocolate chip.
Are you sure?
Yeah, what's that flavor at Friendly's they used to have?
Friendly's?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've done the Friendly's.
Green Monster.
That's a Northeast.
You've never done
chain.
the Friendly's?
Yeah, Northeast chain.
I think I've seen Friendly's maybe like
Frisch's Big Boy.
Sounds like you guys have never.
Is that Friendly?
Friendly's is like a Dairy Queen or a Cold Stone?
No, Friendly's is more like
Ellie's.
Your family when you go to Friendly's. It's like
Culver's.
Okay,
It's like
so
it's like Ellie's.
It's like Culver's. You got burgers.
No,
there?
it's not like Culver's. Friendly's is, I'd say it's like the 99, but you guys haven't been there either. Friendly's is more so, Monster Mash Sunday. There it is. Boom.
Oh, Monster Mash.
That is that is a Monster Mash Sunday, not the Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster
Sunday.
Yeah, I fucked it up. Per usual.
Cookie Monster is cookie dough and Oreo together. It is delightful.
Yeah, well, this Monster Mash Sunday looks delightful. Obviously, can't wait to get up to Friendly's sometimes in the Northeast.
Dude, we got to get to Friendly's. We should go right now.
Okay, yeah. You know what? Fuck it.
Here we go. Yeah. Let's go. Fuck it. It's so good. Seriously, Friendly's is all
AJ,
time.
you have no idea, obviously, what just happened at the Thunderdome. There was a purging of a sweet straw over there.
Man.
And it needed to happen. It needed
the Oreo deals? His little Oreo deals?
Nah,
this
was a Bruce Brown. Way before the Oreos, brother.
Bruce Brown operation.
Yeah, this was a Bruce Brown special. Open the drawer up, start going through there, and there's just crop filling up the drawer. It's crop. It's filling up the drawer. These are all the things that come alongside the combo packages of the good snacks. So like you get something good, and then it's a combo pack because it's a lot of them, so you have to buy a 3-pack of this thing. One of them's great. The second one's okay. The third one, crop. But the third one gets dumped in there, takes up space. So now it appears as if there's a bunch of good things in there. There isn't. There's crop in there.
Did you figure out who brought the Japanese Skittles?
No, Japanese Skittles was quite a delight, I will say, for the time it was. Never going to get run back, but it was good. The Grandma's Cookies vanilla cream wafers. Certainly the worst that the Grandma Cookie
bad. The Nutella, what about the Nutella sticks? Glad that we got those.
I don't know how those ended up in there. I want to let you know I did not touch or have anything. Those are gone.
See ya.
The Grandma's Cookies, the vanilla cream ones, because it was pretty deep in shit. So we got a bunch of shit. So there's levels, you can stick your hand down in there. It's kind of fun. It's like a ball pit.
Yeah.
You stick your hand down in there.
It's like a claw machine.
Yeah, bingo. There's more shit down there underneath. So there's a Grandma's Cookies vanilla cream at the top, and I go, does anybody eat these? This thing takes up space. Bruce Brown's come waltzing over. I fucking love those things.
They are delightful.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Found another?
And this is a bag. This is a bag of them. So it takes up a good amount of space in this entire thing. So I go, all right. And Bruce picks it up, and he has one, probably his first one he's ever had.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So then we start going through there, and it's like, there's a lot of crap that's in here. And then all of a sudden, I find 15 of those Grandma Cookies vanilla cream. That's the entire box that came here. Nobody has eaten one of those. Okay, but they were all dying. So Bruce just completely made it up that he likes. He's not.
No, I do love them. I'm on a diet, trying to drop a couple naturally.
Hey, we're proud of you. We're proud of you for that. Congratulations for that. But yeah, we just had an entire office situation over there, because somebody goes, "I love those things."
You don't.
There's clear evidence.
It's 60 fucking bags of cookies over there that haven't been touched in months. It's ridiculous.
But they're taking up space.
Yeah.
Now we cleared that out so we can get more in there.
You know what didn't take up space?
They did. It was plastic too, so it stabbed you.
Took up space in people's stomachs.
No, just whenever at this stage. It was at this stage. The leftover stage is when people had the Oreos.
Well, we've been leftover stages for quite some time.
I do wonder how all the good stuff gets eliminated so quickly over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's so much fucking crop in there. So it's like finding a diamond in the rough every time you go in there. It's like, oh, well, I see the fucking Grandma's Cookies. They're staring me right in the face because that's all that's in there, seemingly.
Oreo sticks would be thriving right now. That's all I know.
I think right now, no, there's still Oreos. There's actual Oreos.
And the Oreo sticks
they get buried though because they're the little and then they're the Grandma's Cookies.
In there is the Reese's one you got.
Yeah,
that goes by like a day.
The Reese's Chewy.
Who bought the cookies? Who bought the scrubby cookies?
So the Grandma's
cookies that nobody likes that Bruce claims to like.
They came in a 60 combo bag.
Yeah,
gotcha.
15. You
just can't even put those in there. You got to put those, set those aside. Donate them.
That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother conversation.
You can't just be dumping everything in there. You can't just willy-nilly dump everything in there.
But we also don't need the person that's potentially filling that drawer to start thinking that they're the ones deciding what's going in and what's not going in. So that is a whole, that's a whole situation. All of it. It's just like college ball.
It is.
Yeah.
That Nutella setup is absolutely fucking criminal.
I don't know how
there's no reason for that to be around.
Those getting in.
I believe that was talk worthy.
Nutella stinks. I'll
The
say
most ridiculous thing.
Nobody chose the Nutella.
I
One
think-
person brought those in for themselves. That wasn't chosen by the office.
I think somebody ordered those when the Oreo sticks were voted off the island.
Who?
Might be the same guy who
was
liked
Talk.
the grandma's cookies.
How was Talk have any say in ordering anything?
The Nutella sticks was a mistake. I may have suggested them during the brainstorm.
This is so.
And if I could go back, I would.
can't
No,
explain
take it
how
back.
fucking mad I am right now.
You should be. Listen, I didn't know that was ordered. Hey, listen, let me promise you something, con man. No sticks are ever making it in that drawer again. Okay, I want to let you know.
We'll see.
Nobody likes
We'll
them.
see.
Nobody likes them. I don't like the plastic thing on the side either, but there's some good shit in there.
There is some good shit.
You just got to find it. And that's what the NFL season is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you really think about it. And there's been an addition of a man into the NFL this year that is bringing good shit all the time. That's Jim Harbaugh. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, there's also a guy that seemingly every time he's doing an interview, it is comedy. Not for him. Obviously would never want to be in his position. The head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars spoke to the media a couple different times over the last few weeks, and it has been must watch because we all understand the situation that they're in. He got asked a couple different questions. First one, play calling duties. Here's Doug Peterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is play calling something that is up for potential change that you're evaluating right now?
Gosh, I really wish.
Could tell you the truth.
Everything. Well, let's put it this way: everything's on the table. Let's leave it at that.
A lot of times after those tough losses.
God, I wish I could tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Everything's on the table. Okay. Well, how about this year? The expectations were so high because the owner of the team came out and actually said this is the best team of all time. Do you remember that, Doug Peterson?
Who told Shad that this was the best team ever assembled? I mean, I can't imagine that him being away from them, that he just decided that on his own.
Oh no.
I don't know. I'm not privy to those conversations that Shad has, or who's he talking. I don't know. I can't answer that.
It wasn't you.
No.
God, no.
You seen our roster?
I mean, that gets a lot of play this time of year.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I mean,
okay.
we talk. We talk a lot. I mean, we preseason, off season. I mean, going into the season, you got high expectations, obviously, for your football team, as you should. Everybody does. Start of camp, start of the regular season, and rightfully so.
Yeah, but I no.
Oh, God, no. It wasn't me.
Well, how come you didn't come out and say that's not true? Well, what am I supposed to say? Because I think Shad actually said that in a team meeting, and it was filmed. And then it was released, I think, is where the quote come. He said, on paper, this is like the best roster, the best team we've ever had, I think. So is Doug Peterson supposed to come out and go, no. These guys actually kind of suck.
His team blows.
Have you taken a look at some of our position groups? Like, once that's said out there, and I don't know if it was Shad, the owner, trying to motivate and inspire his team and tell everybody that he believes in them and everything like that. But once that's said, the head coach can't come out and be like, that's not true.
He's wrong.
Yeah, that's right. So Doug Peterson, I think he is in a situation that he understands. He's been around football in the NFL a long ass time, and I'll be excited to get his take on all this. But obviously, it's not working, and that's not a good position to be in when you're in front of a microphone, AJ.
No, I love how he really pauses to think about his answer. Like he's not just spouting. Like I love the 5-second just silence before he realizes what can I possibly say up here? Like what a tough spot. Who goes and fixes all that? How does it work? What's the future look like in Jacksonville?
Doom and gloom.
I wish I could tell you.
No, God, no.
Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. You saw a thought go through head, to mouth, to lips, swallowed right back down.
Yep.
Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Holy hell. Good luck, Jags fans.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yep.
I love Doug. I think he's a good ball coach.
Me too.
But I mean,
I do too.
He's a man.
I wouldn't say, he's got Mac Jones as quarterback right now. I wouldn't say he's checked out, but
Wow, Pro Bowler.
boy, I mean, I'm sure he's gotten that question a few times this year about the play calling. He just seemed like that was the first time he heard it. Like, I wish I could. I don't know.
Well, I think he was going to potentially, because there had been times in the past where he's asked that question where he got a little snippy.
Yes, he did.
You know, he had a little attitude.
Pissed.
I think he was there is a chance that he was going to say, I wish I could reiterate this to you again. Yeah. That, like through that entire thing, I didn't know if there's a chance. Maybe he's going in an angry route. Maybe he was going in a funny route. Maybe he was just about to spill the guts on everything.
Yeah.
Maybe he was about to spill. We have no idea because, boy, it got right here. And then that thing went back inside. Doug, we can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
We cannot wait to hear it, Doug. They stink.
I mean, just the look that he gave when the question was first being proposed, like, who told Shad that this was the best team? And he just...
Good follow-up by that guy.
No,
Good follow-up.
Me? You think I said that?
No.
Holy fuck, no way.
We talked before the season. We talked about off-season. He's as he should. As he should do the entire thing. And then now that makes you think about his relationship with Trent Baalke.
Yeah.
Because he puts the roster together.
It was a good one on paper. You got Kerr, you got Ingram, who's having some career years at tight end.
Signed
Brian
Gabe
Thomas
Davis.
Jr., you draft him. You felt good. Gabe Davis,
ETN.
Trevor Lawrence, who was
Trevor,
playing
you
good.
just paid him
Mitch
$55
Morse.
million.
Mitch
Tank,
Morse, you
ETN,
brought
so
in.
you had pieces. Defense, Walker. What's Josh
Josh Hines, yeah.
Alexander, Tyson Campbell played your corner. So on paper,
their middle linebacker last year we found out, or at least I found out.
Oh, yeah.
that their middle linebacker has led the league in tackles for like 3 straight years.
Do you know who's leading the league in tackles now?
EJ Speed.
No, it's not your Frank.
Ah, shit.
I believe it's not your Frank. That's Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, damn right. 5 and 6.
Nice.
We have a graphic, please.
Damn right.
5 and 6 is a good place to be.
Is it?
Yeah, we're on a graphic, brother. Okay, listen, sir. It would be great to be in the top 7 right now.
Sure.
But in the hunt is exactly where we want to be with everything that took place. Currently in the playoffs is where we sit. 7 teams make it in a super wild card weekend, and it is what it become. That 7th slot is seemingly going to be up for grabs pretty heavily. Ravens, obviously running. They're fresh off a loss. Do they bounce back and continue to run up the win column, potentially? The Chargers, we all believe they're going to continue to run up that first number in that record. Texans, they seemingly, with Nico Collins back and a big win last night, they're going to be able to do it. So the number that everybody's chasing is the biggest one for that 7th one. Broncos, Colts, Dolphins, Bengals in the AFC. We have it all right in front of us. Now, the Bengals still being in there is awesome. Dolphins still being in there is awesome. Broncos with Bo Nix, what a phenomenal story. Okay, and how they've become the team that they are. And if you talk about them being anchored with the salary cap because they're paying Russell Wilson to be the quarterback of the number 3 seed, Pittsburgh Steelers, like $40-some million that's still coming out of their salary cap. It's like, this is where you want to be right now, still in the hunt. I don't see the Patriots up there.
No.
I don't see the Patriots up there.
Well, we're not expected to be up there. I mean, we knew what this year was going to be. I guess the 7th seed will be up, but if you guys lose the Broncos, it's over.
Well, the game against Broncos could potentially be.
We need you. We need you guys to win that one.
Well, we need you guys to lose a couple. So
I
there's a
don't
lot of
think
need
that's
in
gonna
things.
happen, brother.
Dolphins
We're
need to
cooking.
be tied with the Broncos because you guys beat the Dolphins, so you get the tiebreaker.
Yeah, because the tiebreaker for the AFC South, not fantastic. We lose to the Texans twice already this season. So any tiebreaker is definitely good. But Bengals still being in, it's awesome. Let's go to the NFC now. Let's see what the NFC playoff picture looks like currently in with where everything stands. In the hunt, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Bucks, 3 of those teams in the NFC West.
Yeah.
It is a wild. All 4 NFC West teams still very much in it with where the records are. And if you look at the Lions and the Eagles, obviously that's top of the top. But the Arizona Cardinals being in that slot at this stage over the 49ers, I think is a surprise to the world. I think the Atlanta Falcons coming off what they've done in the last 2 weeks being in that spot is obviously something. And then the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell joining the show on Thursday, Packers rolling, and then the Commanders, what are they going to be for the second half of the season?
Good question.
What are they going to be, for the rest of the way? So everybody's still in it. The hunt is still wide open. The Packers have to feel pretty good with the whole situation that took place this morning.
I think so.
As somebody who questioned Gutekunst and put over Joe Douglas, that would be me. I did that. In a situation after they made the NFC Championship and they were deep in the playoffs. And what are we doing? We're moving on. What are we even thinking about for the future? Let's do it right now. Let's go win a Super Bowl. And then you can go ahead, Joe. Yeah, the fact that Joe Douglas gets fired now and Gutekunst and the boys are in prime position for the next 10 years. That has to feel real good over there. And I'd like to say I was wildly wrong, obviously. What's happening in New York, not fantastic for anybody.
Sure.
And these Jets fans have to feel as if they are cursed. They're rebuilding completely from scrap. Yet again, AJ. Joe Douglas fired this morning. How do you feel about it? What do you think the future looks like? And have you chatted with Aaron since the announcement?
No, I have not chatted with him since the announcement, but I don't know what it looks like. Like, what kind of – who comes in as the GM? Who comes in as the head coach? What does it look like? Where is Woody, the owner? Is he even in America next year? Like, what is the team look? Because they have – if you look at the team on paper, they actually have a legit amount of talent. Like, they have guys that can play. Like, they have dudes all over the place, and they just feel snake bitten, as whatever that means. I heard coaches say that all the time.
Cursed.
Yep.
I think that's what snake bitten means. I think it means cursed. They might be. They might be over there, and that's a bummer. I do apologize to Jets fans if that's the case. But you're talking about how the excitement level. I was excited.
Who wasn't?
For this Jets team.
It doesn't make sense. Like with what AJ just said, the talent on both sides of the ball. Like, it's just you watch them play football in week 10, 11, and it just doesn't make sense for that team to be that bad. It's got to be a complete reset, culture shift. It's got to be all that shit, which you wouldn't expect with the name, not only the talent, but like the names of the guys in that building too. It's crazy.
How about like the excitement level whenever it was starting? So exciting.
I mean, that's all it was. That's all we talked. That's all anybody talked about.
This guy's going to get a parade in New York.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember when they flew out to meet A-Rod in L.A. and all that, like the lead up and everyone talking about it, and then Devontae was traded there this season. Like, there's been so much has happened to where everyone's like, there we go, there it is, they're winning it all.
Dude, just that offseason before his first season there, Aaron's first season, the last season.
Yep.
Man, genuine hope. Holy shit, this is it.
Yeah.
To a franchise that deserves it. It's been through a lot. Could you imagine? Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, the Big Bad Wolf, they're out of the AFC East. Now this team that hasn't been relevant forever has all of a sudden got it. They got it right now. They're going all in. They're trying to win. They got a guy that all he does is win. Literally. That's all this dude does is win. And then it's 4 plays and it's over. 4 offensive plays and it's over. Yep. And then they punt. Don't worry. Let's run this shit back. And then they do run it back. And it does not work out at all. And then there's firings of offense coordinators and head coaches and general managers.
What?
And we still got 7 weeks left of the season, even though they're on the bye week. It's like, I feel bad for those Jets fans because they were way up here expectation. We were with them way up here.
For sure.
With expectation level. And then all of a sudden, it's just like
Is Greeny all right? For real. Like, I worry about Greeny with how he was at the highest of high, I feel like, at some point in this process.
I think Mike's just a little embarrassed just by the whole.
Really?
You think so?
Yeah.
No, you can't be him. You gotta allow yourself to get excited about something, and then if it doesn't work out, I mean, you can't blame yourself.
I wonder if he'll answer. This firing came after his show, right?
Yeah.
So he still has yet to have a chance to address it on Get Up.
Mm-hmm.
So he should not answer.
He's cooking right now.
He's in the lab.
Yeah.
I mean,
him and Hembo.
Look back to it. Yeah, he's going back to some draft.
Because that's why. Because their team was so good. They won 7 games without Rodgers after he got hurt. So it was like, holy shit, if they have Rodgers, they're going to win 12.
I mean, crazy to think that they kind of did just go right down the pooper after they fired Saleh.
Yeah.
Yep. That
1-5.
I mean, and you look at like the defensive metrics too. Like I don't think they've had an interception since they fired him. Like
How have the Packers done since he got over there?
Since Saleh got there?
Yeah.
I mean, their it's tough to say because they only gave up 19 points, but their defense didn't look great. But I mean, this isn't the same old Packers defense, and they haven't lost since Saleh got there.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is the more important.
So they're 1-5.
Well, never mind. They got beat by the Lions, but that was to be expected.
And so it's probably 4-1.
Yeah.
4-1, 1-5. Saleh's got to feel real good. He lays his head down at night. AJ, I was the problem, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So many of that. So many nights of that with the family. Yep, your dad, big dumb dipshit. I was the problem. All right, sleep tight in Green Bay. We got a playoff run to go get ready for as it all unfolds. Good luck, man. And congrats to the Packers.
Yeah.
They're the geniuses in this whole thing.
Yep. We were talking about it earlier, too. Like the teams that have actually beaten good teams, like the Packers are one of those teams who have won, I think 3+ games against teams over 500. And that's kind of like the separator, it feels like, especially when you're looking who's going to make the run.
Yeah, you sent that tweet in. Strength of schedule. There was a tweet that was actually sent in. Here it is from the Steelers Network. And obviously it puts over the Steelers, so it's part of it. Wins against teams with a 500 record or higher through 11 weeks. Lions, callous.
Damn, jeez.
Steelers, 5. Chiefs, 5. Bills, 3. Ravens, 3. And then Commanders, Chargers, Falcons, Texans, Broncos, 49ers, all at 1. So it's like, Yeah, I mean, you talk about strength of schedule. There's some teams that are separating themselves, and then there are teams that are actually saying, we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
And that's the New York Jets.
Yep.
Rizzy's not going to let that happen down there with the Saints.
No, he's not.
Look out. They should be on that graphic.
I was told he's a routine guy, so we can assume that this past Sunday in the Superdome before the game.
Yeah.
Had to do it.
Went to work.
Big old poop.
Not as big as the week before.
I hope.
Yeah, because you got it down, right?
Or maybe he chopped it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe he chopped this one up. Like
Oh,
you
he
said.
brought utensils.
Hope. Well, we hope. Yeah, we're hoping.
Or he
Did the piss.
Or he
Yeah.
flushed before wiping.
There's a chance he
It helps.
He may have
definitely had to have flushed before wiping.
He had to flush like 4 times before wiping.
I definitely flushed before wiping.
What do you mean?
Every human flushes before wiping, right? Especially
Not me, no.
you got little baby poops.
Come on.
I never had it. I guess I got fucking premier plumbing.
You got poop and
Oh, yeah.
toilet paper, same flush happening.
You bet. You trust that your fucking pipes
Yeah.
are going to do what they're meant to do.
You're doing that here at the Thunderdome? I think you should not trust as good as you're trusting.
No, because I'm strictly adhering to the, hey, listen.
Thunderbolt pipes are
We're
good.
doing one dude
wipe.
and that's it. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. When you have really messy shits, the wipe is actually pretty easy because the mess is already out.
My poops are
liquid
never
goes.
hard. Mine are always just absolute mess.
I don't know the health behind it all, but
I've been told
We
it's not
actually
great.
we looked into this. You're looking for snakes if you want to have healthy dumps. You're
Skinny
looking
snakes.
for either multiple smaller logs,
Sausage links?
sausage links is a good way to put it, stacked on top of each other, or one fucking tree trunk. And then aside from that, it's usually bad news.
what about the Houdini dumps, the ones that just disappear?
One wipes?
No.
Hole in ones?
No, the no wipes,
No wipes.
obviously are great, even though you have to wipe to find out if you have a no wipe. So I guess it would technically be a one wipe.
Yeah.
But the ones that just disappear down,
The heavy weighted ones that slide right into
the Dufresnes,
Those are good.
the Andy Dufresnes that are getting down into the pipe as fast as possible. You look down, what was it? Oh, it had to be something.
Did I
Had
poop?
something.
Yeah.
Had to be something.
Those are good because then they're one aerodynamic. They can just slide right down the
Built for speed.
bingo, and that means they have that build of a sausage link, a tree trunk. That might be the perfect poop, actually.
Okay. I don't love that you guys just wiping. You guys like porta-john? You look down, it looks like a porta-john. You got poop, and then you got toilet paper stacked on top of it. Is that what you guys are
No,
doing?
it's just, I'm trying to save on our water usage. You know what I mean?
I didn't know.
Two flushes.
I didn't know. Yeah, pooping and wiping and then flushing wasn't the right thing to do. I thought that was kind of status quo, but
I don't know. I am
It depends. It's a case by case. If you
Depends where
drop
you
like
are.
an actual nuke, it's like, all right, this thing's got to go before I wipe and then flush as well.
I think that thing. I'm trying to have it not experience life at all. I'm trying to get that thing to water, to pipe, to out as soon. I don't want it just hanging around. You guys just hanging out with your poop?
I mean, no, I'm not taking
You
a
guys
dump.
just hanging out with your poop?
Sitting in there and taking selfies with
the
it.
wall a little bit.
So you guys know. So you poop,
Wipe,
out,
flush.
Yeah.
Got it. There's not even a chance for a second round coming.
Wait, a second round of
It
what?
depends. That's like the situations or
A
situations.
second round of what?
Pooping.
Depends
No.
on the wipe.
Mine just...
Yeah, if you got multiple rounds, you're probably dealing with something. Should be a one round bout.
I'm trying to get that thing out of there as fast as possible, away from life as fast as possible. I don't want to sit in it. I don't want to smell that thing. I want it out of here. I want it out of here. Okay, I didn't know. Thank you for saving the water here at Thunder.
Yeah. I'm just trying.
Can you imagine?
Doing your part.
What's that?
Imagine if we didn't have modern plumbing like back in the day.
Holes. I think Japan had holes to pee in.
Okay.
I think that I went to had a thing on a
To
wall.
pee in?
Had a thing on. Had a bar on a wall.
Really did a number on it.
And you just kind of grabbed it and you like over a hole if you wanted to poop. I think if I recall, it was definitely happened. I don't know which country. I think it was Japan.
No wonder they're so nice.
Whatever. Squatty potties had to run for a long time. When people kept talking about. I don't hear about them anymore.
Piss the wrong person off, you're getting fucking shoved in the poop hole. You gotta
For
be,
sure.
you gotta be pulling.
They're all isolated. They're all isolated. You're right. The squatty potty now is just something I run my toe into in the middle of the night because it's right next to the toilet now. It was supposed to really save something.
I use religious.
Squatty potty?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to push as hard, right?
It means that's how you're supposed to. That's how the body's supposed to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure.
That's how it's supposed
Yeah.
to.
I agree. But you know what you don't do as often this year as you have in the past?
Giveaways.
Yeah, because AQ is always doing it on Wednesday.
And always missing.
He is always missing. He's been pretty nice.
He is kind of a selfish son of a bitch.
But we're going into the holiday season.
True.
So don't you think we should maybe have D-Butch, who wins these things, do a giveaway for the people?
I think so.
Does
I don't know.
AJ, how many people? How many
did a
people?
pretty big giveaway this weekend.
Huge giveaway.
That is a good
So
point.
a couple
Yeah.
people and then hurricane victims. Congrats to Henry Silver and Bell Sessions. That was awesome. They earned that.
Yeah.
Bell with the big brain, Henry with the big kick.
Yep.
Yep.
D-Butch, what are you gonna do? You gonna throw a football into one of these hoops?
He's been putting.
You know what, my partner, my champion, fellow champion, what do you think I should do?
I mean, you've been on the green. You've been on the green putting, and we didn't putt all of October because of the
spooky.
The spooky, yeah, there it is.
It was good decoration.
Maybe putt, great decoration.
All right, let's do that.
Okay, yeah, and also you're like what, a Live Golf member?
Yeah.
Hey, coming to Indy next year.
I saw that. Can't wait.
Have you been golfing?
What course?
I can't golf out here anymore.
Yeah.
Once, we leave, it's dark, it's over, so I get around in here and there at home on the weekend.
Chatham Hills, I think is where it is. Is that where it's at?
Think so. I'm not sure.
They're not going to Purgatory?
To be clear, I have no idea where it is.
No.
I know it's in Westfield. I don't know what the course is.
Westfield's a beautiful town. Beautiful town.
Chatham Hills.
Chatham Hills is the name of the place. It's in Westfield. I think the Westfield has all the hotels and shit. It's a beautiful area. Very new, I think, too. Very, very new. It should be awesome. Live Golf coming to town. I'm sure people will show up. And I've been watching DeChambeau try to hit 100-yard shots.
It's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Over his house.
So cool.
So much confidence.
Yeah.
So much confidence.
Yeah,
over
with that
house.
house. Nice.
They say you shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. DeChambeau lives in a glass house, and he's hitting wedges at it every day. Every single day. I don't. It's day 9. I got 9 opportunities at this thing. I'm like, you're going to hit 9 shots at this thing? And he does.
He's been so close, too.
Yeah, and he knows immediately.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Which is awesome. That's like us watching Tyrese shoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watching those golfers do their thing.
Aliens. They got a match in, I think, December, too.
Who?
Bryson.
Yeah.
Bryson Brooks, Scotty, and Rory.
Yep.
Oh, really? So we got Liv verse.
Yeah.
There's also don't say that. There's a not so good match, I think, as well.
I just learned that 83% of the people are against me. They're only doing 1 flushes. Bill put a poll in the chat. Do you poop, wipe, flush? Poop, flush, wipe. Okay. 83% people pooping, wiping, and flushing.
I thought that was a song growing up. I'm being.
Yeah, poop in your fingernails.
Kind of shows the clogs, why clogs happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think I'm a little bit more worried about the pipe, the plumbing. I have less faith in plumbing than others.
With these dumb low flow toilets, that's the problem.
I need a.
Oh yeah.
Commercial.
I think you open a lot of people's eyes.
It's because you grew up at the bottom of a hill. Because so gravity didn't help.
Yeah, I assume that is the case. I assume that is the case, actually. We're not trusting these pipes. You guys are putting how much shit in here? No way. Okay, so all night we got a fucking flooded out thing? Okay. All right, sweet. I guess I didn't know everybody was that confident in these pipes. Way to go, plumbing.
Let's go, plumbing.
Come a long way.
Way to go,
Way
plumbing.
vocational school.
Yeah, shout out to the plumbers doing their thing. Okay, D-Butch. That's real close. I mean, this seems like it doesn't.
Why don't you just place it in the
Scoot
cup?
up a little bit more.
This feels like a layup compared to
behind the black.
people are throwing footballs at this hoop over here, so far away. How many feet? Not your putter either.
4.5.
Okay, you have
4.5.
7 balls. How many do you think you'll make?
7.
3? Okay, if you go 3 of 7, we will give 30 people $500 heading into the holiday season. Boston Connor has a word of message before you get started.
Look, D-Butch, it's easy. You just hit the ball, and then the ball rolls, and then it goes into the cup.
Simplify the game, says Boston Connor. 3 of 7 is what you have to do. 30 people will win $500. Some nice Air Forces, some earthy tones. A little bit of a pool there by Darius.
Do it.
AJ Hawk, what are your thoughts on the first putt before Darius hits the second one?
It was a good aggressive line, D, but don't back off of it. Go after it again.
I don't think the line was good, but it was certainly aggressive. You have
Sweet
to go,
flannel, too.
Sweet flannel. You have to go 3 of 6 here down the way. 30 people win $500. A little bit of a push.
Get in there.
Oh, man.
Is that a claw grip I'm seeing there?
Yeah, good speed. Good speed.
The ball.
You want to change out the putter? We have multiple putters.
Oh.
did not make it to the hole. Now we got to go 3 of 4 for 30 people to win $500.
Can't leave it short.
There it is.
There's his first make. 1 of 4 has to go 2 of 3.
Man, the speed on
Okay, he's got to go 2 for 2 here.
Wow.
Now, this is where we wanted to be. Ty Schmidt, anything to say to D. Butch before his final 2 putts, of which he has to make both?
I think you need to take a step back, maybe address this thing, try to see what kind of undulation we got, see what stimp meter the green's running at right now, because you're kind of just all willy-nilly right now. We need a nice aggressive line here. Do not leave this thing short. Do not leave it short.
It's running at 11, by the way.
What's that?
The stimp meter's at 11 on here.
Yeah, pretty quick.
It's fast.
Thunderdome Green is obviously a problem.
Good read.
D. Butch trying to win for third. Nope, he does not.
Left is
Let's
short.
go. Let's see what you do.
Left is short.
1 of 6 thus far. Let's see if he can go 2 of 7. Jeez, Louise.
That's embarrassing.
Scoot up a little bit. Scoot up a little bit.
Jeez, Louise.
There it is.
2 of 7. Not bad.
Good putt. Good. Way, that's a
good
great putt
number.
there. Way to end it.
It was a good number. Wait, your last stroke's your best stroke.
That's right.
All right, D. Butch, good work. Although the people didn't win, I feel like we did because we get to do this for a living. AJ, great work today. Everybody in the back, great work. Graphics department, way to go. You guys are a bunch of prophets.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Bunch of prophets out there. All right, we appreciate you all so much for allowing us to do this for a living. We'll be back tomorrow with a good one. Tomorrow's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's not on the show tomorrow.
Thursday.
But tomorrow's a good show still. We got Jage, A. Cush,
Yep.
D. Butch, obviously, potentially going to go for another.
Hopefully.
Yep. Are we doing?
All right. Proud of you, D.
Don't be proud of that.
Butler Birdies would not be proud of that performance.
I haven't seen a lot of posts from Butler Birdies in some time. I wonder if the whole family gave up on it.
Might have to change it to Butler Bogies after
Actually,
that.
no, my brother.
Oh, jeez.
What'd he say?
Butler Bogies, brother. Oh, no. Oh,
Daylight savings, man.
Stop.
Fucking hate it.
yeah.
I agree.
Alaska just started their 64-day no sun party.
Saw that.
That's fun.
That'd be tough, man. That would be tough.
Yeah. I mean, Indiana's
this is-
close.
This has been affecting me. I'm not gonna like 7 o'clock. I'm like, all right, let's pack it in. And now I still gotta go coach. I gotta coach a practice still. Yeah.
Me too, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 6:30 p.m. pitch black outside.
Yep.
I'm like starting to
Oh,
get
yeah.
tired. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
what do we got? We still got hours, and I don't have to coach something. I don't know how you go about
Yeah.
doing that. But life is still very much lifing as the night goes on. And then in the morning, it's pitch black whenever we wake up. So it's like, unless I look outside the window for like a 20-minute span in Indiana, it's like, I don't know that the sun exists here either. And this is the world we're in right now.
And these few weeks too, like before, like in a few weeks at least, Christmas lights will be up, so that you'll have those like to cheer you up a little bit. Right now, you got nothing. Got nothing.
We got us though.
That's right.
yeah.
Got us.
And
You
what
guys
more
got
do you
me.
need than that?
That's all we need.
You got us.
All right, sweet. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life, especially on days where there's no fucking sun.
Need it.
The first time it happened, we've brought this up before. They had to be so scared.
So scared.
Holy fuck, is this thing never coming back? Are we getting punished by this thing? And then it just goes down to like no. Think of those people in Alaska the first ever time. Way back, obviously. I don't know. I guess that would be the Inuits.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Of Alaska.
For sure.
You
Sure.
notice him? Look it up. Proper word. Inuits. Way back. Imagine the first time the sun just stopped showing up, and then we'll hope for tomorrow.
Yep.
And then it's got to be tomorrow. The amount of mental strength.
God.
64 days.
It's a long time.
Holy
That's crazy.
fuck. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
It's not warm
Sun
either.
God hates us.
Yeah, they would think it's all over. Because back in the day, that was kind of it, right? The sun.
Yeah.
He's going to start like killing people. I sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Let's do everything we possibly can to get this sun back. Let's do everything we possibly can. And it just didn't. And then that 65th day came, and guess what? The sun rose again.
Always does.
After the darkest
That's what we got to
dawn.
remember. Hell yeah. The sun is the brightest after the darkest dawn. Good luck, Alaska. But also to all of us in the four-season world.
Yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.